Well, yeah, this is just... I didn't fucking go to... I dropped out of school when I was really young, so I didn't really use computers heaps. Mm-hmm. So I only really picked up a computer when I started this podcast. So I had to, like, teach myself the most efficient way to get them out. Mm-hmm. And now with AI, I use AI for, like, heaps of my thumbnails. Yeah. Like, I don't have to use Photoshop as much. I still use Photoshop to clean them up, but, like, AI has made everything so much easier.
It's good, isn't it?
Have you fucked with Suno?
What's Suno?
The AI music model.
Oh, I've heard of these like things. I've never played around with it. There's a few people that have said like, I mean, I've played around with some AI, but not the generative stuff.
Oh, dude, that's Suno. I had Luke on, DJ Chronic, and I had him on a couple times, and I showed him.
He's a good dude.
He's
I like it.
Fucking interesting character.
Man.
He's a good dude.
He's a crazy cat.
I met him at his, like, now that he's on his kind of sober, like, more health kick kind of journey. Uh-huh. But, like, I've heard stories that he used to be such a loose unit. Very good dude, though. Very good person.
He is, man. He's very down to earth. He's just, like, he's got a good heart.
Yeah. Very sweet dude. But Suno is, like, you just type in, I want a Melbourne sound type beat with a fucking snare here at this beats per minute, and it'll just do it in 3 seconds. It'll give you 4 versions of it.
Are these any good?
They're fucking pretty good.
So let's make a track.
Dude.
On the podcast.
we actually could. We actually could. I'll show you. For everyone who doesn't know, this is I don't actually know. I didn't want to say your last name. Ben Grzywacz.
Yeah.
Is that Polish?
Polish.
Yeah. As soon as I seen it, I was like, fuck, there's too many Z's and fucking Y's in there for me to know how to say that. But This is UBERJAKD, and it's fucking crazy sitting opposite you right now.
Oh, mate, thank you for having me on. I remember we touched base. It was, I believe when you started this podcast up, you were just putting the idea of it together just at the start of when we had our bit of lockdown or whatever. And I was like, oh, look, I was doing a few other things. And to be honest, I was like, I had a break myself. So I wasn't doing music things or wasn't trying to build UBERJAKD up. I'd kind of canned it. I kind of binned it.
Really?
Yeah.
Was this during COVID?
Through COVID. So I was just not really interested in going to have a chat because I was like, what the fuck am I going to chat about?
Yeah.
Just canned it. I'm not really doing DJing anymore. Not much to talk about. But yeah, you hit me up and I was like, let's do it. It'll be a perfect time because I'm about to leave Australia in a couple of months. So it's either now or never, you know.
So go to the UK.
I am going to the UK with my girl, Ella.
Talented singer.
She's very good.
Very talented.
Beautiful and can sing.
I went down a rabbit hole the other day because I was like just trying to like backtrack some of your music and stuff, and I seen you actually have a couple tracks together and stuff.
We have heaps
of tracks together. She's got a nice voice, man.
She has very, very, very nice voice. Talented songwriter. She's doing her own solo stuff as well, which is really cool. And she's doing... Yeah, because we did a few songs together. Now she's got a few coming in the works with other DJs that have, she's doing top lines for them. But yeah, she's got a lot going on. It's gonna be cool living together as well over in the UK.
It's so weird sitting opposite you because you wouldn't even know how many nights that you've been. It's weird for a DJ because you're a part of so many people's big nights. And they will always remember like a certain night if they had the best night of their life. Like Vic Fridays, I'm pretty sure I've seen you in Soho Garden in HQ West Terrace. Still gives me goosebumps when I say the names.
Man, do you know what the best thing about it? Why it's so good is it ended on a high.
It ended at the top.
It never was. There was never a dull night. It was literally like do. Every weekend was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more exciting. I remember I got a call from Brendan. He's like, mate, got some bad news. The garden's closed. And then they put us upstairs for a bit, and then it just wasn't the same. And then by that stage, I was like starting to get some momentum with my own like interstate gigs and stuff. And then I started touring, so it was just good timing for me, I guess. But
I think the special thing about Soho Garden in HQ was you could smoke there. So it was like, everyone was...
We're all smokers, weren't we?
Everyone was
durry munchers.
Smoking. Everyone was on fucking any substance that they could find. And there was drinks were cheap. And it was actually a very southern crowd as well. So a lot of the Vic Friday people carried over, and you would see the same people on a Friday at the Vic. It's almost you did the round. So every Wednesday was Flashies. Every Thursday I used to start at Marble and then finish at Apple. Every Friday was the Vic. Every Saturday was HQ. Reds never let me in. Every Sunday was the Grand.
Dude, do you know what's the craziest thing? I don't know about you, but if I'm going to go and have a night out these days, I'm like, even if I have a very tame one, it's at least $500. At least.
If you want to drink.
And that's like, have a couple drinks, maybe, no, if it's a big one, it's like over 1,000.
Yeah,
How
easily.
How did we used to go out there? I remember it was like 4 nights a week, dude, continuously.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I wasn't earning that good money from DJing. It was okay, but
I was an apprentice chef. I was earning $450 a week, and I'd fit a 10-pack of pills into it somehow, and I'd fit like 50 beers, because you meet people and then you meet bartenders and like there was a lot more people helping each other out back then as well.
Yeah, I like that. I like that mentality.
Yeah, it was like I used to have a bartender at HQ in between R&B and Soho that would just fucking give me drinks. Yeah. He would just give me drinks because he knew I didn't earn heaps of money, and he just wanted to get me fucking smashed. You know, like, it's just how it was back then. And you'd go out so much, you'd get to know the staff at the bars. And Apple Bar actually was probably my favourite. I've probably had my funnest night partying ever at Apple when Borgor was playing.
Yeah,
Borgor played Apple once, and he fucking shut down Rundle Street.
I don't know if I was there for that one.
It was the craziest night I've ever seen. Like, fucking insane. People were fucking jumping off of the middle, like the balcony into
I must have missed that one.
It was insane. I'm a massive Borgor fan, so he was like my favorite DJ at the time, and it was
the peak of that dubstep then.
There was the peak of dubstep.
That, like, real
wow, like just heavy bass.
Yeah.
And then right after that, I think the Melbourne sound, like Will Sparks, Timmy Trumpet, like that kind of sound kind of came into it, and it was almost the perfect transition because I love a hard bass drop, but I love that dirty, grimy kind of fucking just perfect. It's just nice. Like, Will Sparks is fucking one of the best musicians to ever come out of Australia, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I reckon he would be.
Yeah, he's Will's still kicking.
He's
still
kicking
doing well.
hard.
He's doing well. He's still doing his thing, touring the world.
Insane. Australia has mad DJs. The EDM kind of scene down here does produce really good DJs.
Yeah, we do. I think it's something in the water, mate.
We like to party.
Yeah.
I remember I went to TFU once in Melbourne on Lonsdale Street. Didn't know because Adelaide didn't have like those clubs that were open for 3 days. And I went to TFU and I saw Orchestrated was playing, and I had no fucking idea who he was. And I just remember being in this club with Will Sparks played, Orchestrated played. None of them were famous yet.
Yeah,
and
cool time, man. I remember that like early days of the Melbourne sound. It was good.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll put on some Chemical Energy.
That tune was very popular, wasn't it?
I
made an edit of it.
When did you start your DJing?
I mean,
how old are you?
I'm 35 now.
35.
Yeah. So I kind of got into the DJing. It was a few years before most people had even heard of UBERJAKD or whatever. Because I originally had a different name. It was Grzywacz.
Grzywacz.
Yeah, because it was just my nickname at high school. And I was kind of doing that, kicking around and, just playing like friends' parties, honestly. It was nothing serious. But I always loved making music. So, that was kind of what opened the door to more exciting things, just kind of being a music producer.
It'd be weird being on the other side of like the club. Like, I'm so used to being like in the crowd that it'd be such a different feeling being on the other side, especially when you're playing like those massive crowds. Like,
mate, if I have another gig in Adelaide, I'll have to bring you up and you can experience it.
Mate, so I'm starting to do, I'm going to start doing more traditional 20-minute, like 15-minute style videos for my channel this year. Like, I'm going skydiving and I'm going to vlog it. And I really want to go on a night out, but behind the decks, just to film like a night out and then do interviews in the crowd.
Yeah.
As well, and get like
it.
more of a behind the scenes thing. But I just don't know what clubs and stuff are going off in Adelaide anymore. I wouldn't even know the names of them.
I don't know. I'm not like, I'd definitely back in when we were talking before, I've had like some good partying years, but I'm kind of really focused on what I'm, sort of doing at the moment. And I haven't been out in Adelaide, to be honest. I kind of pop out every now and then, but I've just it gets a bit boring.
When you're
sometimes
when you're younger,
it's the same city you've been out to 20,000 times. It's the same clubs you like.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So
I like bar hopping now. Like, it's nice going to a bar like Lee Street and Peel Street. It's really good to go to now. Like, it's more, you just get older as well.
Listen to us. We sound like a pair of old grandpas. Oh, I used to party back in the day. But no, I do get around. Like, to be honest, if I like the music, I'll go out. It's just that the kind of music I'm into at the moment, I just feel like it's a bit, it hasn't really made it to Adelaide yet. What
are you into?
Like I'm into trance, hard house and trance. That's kind of what I've been producing at the moment. That's one of the big reasons why I'm moving over to the UK is because
fucking huge over there.
It's where the sound originated for. So like, there's a good scene for it. My music's getting played over in the UK and over here. It gets played by a few people. There's a few people that support my tunes, but over in the UK, it seems like there's a lot more
for your market.
Yeah, I don't know. That sound just hasn't. Maybe someone needs to take it over here. Maybe someone will, but it hasn't really like hit the mark. Everything that's from like hard techno and hard style is really popular here at the moment. But
I never got into hard style. It's too punchy for me. Like, it's too.
It's a different thing. Yeah.
Did you find it hard when you were younger? Because you obviously were getting like fucking heaps of traction when you were like at a pretty loose age, like
a loose age.
Like 18 to 25 are generally, if you have it in you, are your loosest years. Like
yeah. I would agree with that.
Is it hard to not fall into a trap as a DJ? Because I've never talked to. Obviously I've talked to Luke, and he used to get hell loose. But is it hard to not fall into that trap of just getting fucked up royally every night when you're a DJ?
Mate, I would not know because that's what I used to do.
Yeah, that's what you used to do.
Yeah, it's just when you're young, just having fun, just enjoying the moment, having the time of your life. So, yeah, I had a good time in my early 20s, man.
When I was at, like, when we were talking about Stereosonic, like 2012 and 11 and Future Music, the old Future Music festivals and even Tomorrowland, it actually goes with any artist, like even a rock band, when you're playing in front of like a crowd of like 25 to 50,000 people and they're just all giving you their fucking 100% undivided attention, you'd have such like a god complex, I imagine. Like, not a god complex, but like you're just in control of this 50,000 people, when it would be such a weird feeling.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing for you to bring up. How does it feel? How do you like?
Because you're just a puppet master, and then just everyone's just you're just waiting for. There's no situation ever where 50,000 people would ever be so in tune and just so focused on the one person.
Yeah, I guess that's just entertainment. That's music, isn't it? You're doing something that people are finding interesting. They'll give you their attention. But I don't know. I think that's the thing that destroys a lot of people. This is just my perspective. But 100%. I think that people, if they take that too seriously, they think they actually are a god. No, you're not, mate. You're a fucking human. Yeah. You're just a dude that makes music. You're not fucking better than anyone else. You just, in that moment, that's what you are. But you can't take that walking around with you on the street.
It'd be such an adrenaline rush, though. It'd be so hard to come back down to reality after like a really good set. Do you find yourself that you used to get really amped up after a set and you get almost post-set depression?
Oh, I don't know, man. I think like you get a buzz on.
You get a massive high.
I mean? Like you're pumping, like I'm a very like dopamine driven person. I love stimulation, just like fuck, that kind of, you take it in. So then you come off and then you're just like, but it's just like, that's the moment, you got to live in the moment, and you just got to work hard to get up there and have that moment up on the stage. But if you just take it for granted, you won't be back up there,
Yeah.
So you have to always be working.
You seem like you're a pretty, like, I wouldn't say you're like hell. You're like you seem like you're pretty shy and pretty humble. in your natural personality? Did you find it hard to like kind of get on the mic and fucking let's fucking go?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a pretty shy.
Or is Ben and Uberjacked a separate and like person?
I don't know, man. It's funny how people say like, oh, do you put on a? I guess you do. You have to. Like
I find it hard with the pod, man. I find it like messaging people and trying to talk the podcast up to get people on makes me feel like a dickhead.
Really?
Yeah, I hate it. I can't listen to my podcast back because I'm so critical of myself. Sure. I feel like sometimes, you shouldn't have cut that. You fucking cut that person off there, or your voice is annoying. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I think like it's a common thing that you'll face once you start to put yourself out there. Everyone faces it. I've faced it. I think they call it imposter syndrome. It's just when you don't value yourself in that moment. But it's very important to like always remind yourself that you do deserve it. You can get up there and do what you need to do. And it's just that two sides of the coin. There's a heaps good video of who was it? There's John Cena. There's an interview of him where he has this pocket watch and he talks about this exact thing that we're
on a talk show, like a night talk show.
Because there's those two things, man. It's the two things. It's like you got one side of yourself that's like you got to keep yourself under control, because if you go around actually thinking you're a god, you're fucked, because you will destroy yourself. And on the other set, you got to, those moments when you feel like you're not worth enough, you got to remind yourself that you did fucking deserve that. And, you're constantly like, it's like a pendulum in your life. You got to sort of always
you got to
trying to sit in the
middle.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's just like, that's something I've like really had to deal with a lot in my life. I wouldn't say I come from a lot, really. I mean, my family's amazing, but I grew up in a little small town of like 500 people.
Did you not grow up in Adelaide?
No. I went to school in Gawler, down north, and I used to just live in a small town. I'm actually with them at the moment. In the interim till I moved to the UK, I've decided, because of trying to line up rental leases and stuff like that, because we want to go over there for 12 months. We're just kind of going back with the family for...
So you're up north?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
For a couple months until... Because I wanted to have the flexibility when we find the right place to be able to just get a one-way ticket on the plane and just...
I thought you were in the city.
I was in the city for a bit. Ella, my partner Ella, she's in the city. So we kind of...
Transit between.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a nomad. I've kind of come to the the realization that my whole life I've just been a nomad.
It's the life of a DJ.
Always moved around. I get bored very easily. I like to move. I like a fast pace. I like change. So like,
it's not for everyone too. That could fucking cripple you if you're not used to it. Like I haven't watched the Avicii documentary yet. Avicii is my favorite DJ of all time. Not my favorite DJ, but I respect Avicii the most for how many consecutive fucking bangers he put out. Like, if you are if you're drinking with the boys on a Friday night, you could just put on a Avicii playlist and every song's gonna be good. Like, he doesn't have bad songs. I'd love to watch his doco. Apparently, it's really good, because I don't know if like the touring affected him heaps or the lifestyle of being a nomad, because you have to be a nomad when you're a DJ. You have to be willing to, and it would fuck me up not having a home base. I'm not built for it. But you have to be built for that kind of lifestyle as a traveling DJ.
It's part of the deal, isn't it? There's a lot of good stuff, but also like anything, mate. You know what I mean?
Pros and cons.
Where
are you moving to in the UK?
Manchester. Yeah. So we've been doing a lot of research. We don't want to just like on a whim, because we're pretty much gonna have to like it's pretty good these days. Like when you can go through like virtual walkthroughs of the apartment, and
that's sick.
Google Street View to get a real feel. Because we've been over the UK a couple times now together, but we never made it to Manchester. The only reason we're going Manchester is because my agency is very close to there, and my manager is also quite close to there. And also every single person we asked was like, Manchester's popping, so go over there.
Isn't where Manchester... what's that? Ministry of Sound? Isn't it where Ministry of Sound is?
Maybe. You know what? I'm not sure. We need to get the fact checker up.
Yeah, I can look that up right now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ministry of Sound clubs in Manchester.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a bucket list. I'd love to play that.
Dude, that would be insane. Where is it? Here we go. Ministry of Sound.
Here we go. See where it is.
Ministry of Sound.
London.
So,
So,
I don't know if there's multiple of them though, but Manchester would be fucking, like you said, they just, and it's also very central for you, so you have more opportunity to travel and fucking play festivals and stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why Manchester looks like a good deal. It's very connected because we want to travel, go to Europe, you know, be able to kick off to Europe for the weekend, stuff like that.
Did you said you played Tomorrowland 2015 and 16?
2015, 2016. Yeah.
Was that like a bucket list for you? It was like, holy shit. Because you would have been pretty young.
Dude.
You'd have been fucking 26, 25.
Yeah, 25, 26. Yeah. It was crazy. It was a crazy time of my life, to be honest. That period was just like the most whirlwind like time of my life. It was just crazy. It was like every weekend was party, travel, party. And it just was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, and playing Tomorrowland was definitely one of the things that was a huge deal. Like,
I didn't even get to go to another stage, dude. I did not see a lick of Tomorrowland besides the main.
Yeah.
I just got stuck there for 2 days. I didn't make the third day because I was like, I fucking have gone I went way too hard the first 2 days because everything was so cheap, like just everything, and it was just so fucking overwhelming. And the Avicii set was crazy. It was just every single person that was at Tomorrowland the first night was at the tribute. Like every single person was there. It was fucking so overwhelming. It was just tiring.
I think it's us Aussies. It was actually funny. There was a video floating around of Marlon Hoofstart, who was just played a festival recently in Adelaide, and he got on the microphone and he was telling everyone to calm down and stop being so rowdy. And everyone's like, yeah. He's like, no, this is serious. You're going too hard. Just calm down.
Aussie Hill at Tomorrowland,
mate,
dude. It's like a jungle. Aussie Hill.
Yeah.
I remember I went to Tomorrowland, and there's for anyone who hasn't been, there's a hill. I went solo. Right. So I just fucking booked a ticket, went, and then I was like, okay, I need to find some people. And I went in there, and as soon as I heard about Aussie Hill, I just looked at it, and there's just this fucking mound of people, and there's just all these other countries around. Just everyone's just staring at the Australians like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because you come from Australia if you're into this kind of thing. You come from Australia and you're paying like $300 for cocaine. You're paying $30 for an ecstasy tablet. Then you go to Europe and you've never been there. You're paying $40 for something that's not shit. And you're paying fucking $6 for an ecstasy tablet. So Australians just get fucking wild.
Mate, I think that we are just fucking wild.
By nature.
By nature. I don't know. Because it's definitely a thing, man. People party differently over in those countries, you know? Like, we binge. We binge hard over here. Like, over there, they you know, have respect for themselves. We don't seem to have.
Yeah. It's just, I want to have the most fun in the shortest amount of time.
Yes, dude. So, I mean, yeah. It's our reputation.
Do you have, like, a favorite? Well, it's hard to say, like, what's your favorite DJ, or like what's your favorite shot, like your favorite set you've seen, or do you have like a moment where you were like, this is just the dopest shit ever?
Man, there's been a couple sort of like ones that I always go back to. First one that always is in my mind is the first time that I saw deadmau5 perform in his kind of thing, because like, but today's standards, what deadmau5 is doing, because it hasn't evolved all that much.
deadmau5, when he was fucking running hot.
But when he was the first time I've ever seen all this visual stuff. And his music is phenomenal. I love how he's gone back to his roots as well with some of his latest releases.
I've not heard any of his new stuff.
Sussie's last couple releases on Spotify is kind of going back to that, you know, that iconic Deadmau5 sound. I love listening to it. They're like 10-minute tracks. You just put them on and it's just like, you know,
Man,
great music.
Deadmau5. I can't remember who. One of the best sets I've ever seen was Promises by Neuro.
Okay.
I think he came to. Did he collab that with Skrillex?
Promises.
Yeah.
Not sure. I'm not a dubstep guy, so I'm not.
Can't remember. It was at Futures though, and it just happened that these fucking Australian Army forces were doing their runs with their fighter jets at the same time, and when the drop happened, these fucking fighter jets just went over, and I just remember it was like the dopest moment. It was just such a 1 in a million moment.
Yeah,
just little things like that. But Borgore at Apple would have been one. Avicii Levels live for the first time at Stereos was one of the wildest scenes I've ever seen. Just Levels was just such a fucking cultural phenomenon for that EDM kind of vibe scene.
It was cool. Do you know what? I never got to see Avicii play.
Are you joking?
The whole time I was on the tours with him and everything.
Are you joking?
Never saw him.
I've seen him like 4 or 5 times.
Because half the time of those
You're
festivals,
playing.
I'd play at the festival and then I'd be running around like a spastic backstage off me lid. And I would not do anything.
Are you joking?
I'd be too busy.
Did you meet him?
Very briefly, man. Like, I wouldn't say like, but yeah, we were like, we kind of crossed paths.
Was it like a moment where there's a thing, like I'm a massive MMA fan, and I've met some like really, really influential UFC fighters before.
Right.
And when you cross paths with certain people, you can tell they have like an aura of fucking just, they got something about them that your attention goes to them in a room. Did Avicii have that kind of vibe, or was he like a bit introverted as a person?
I think he was an introverted person. From what I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure like he was when I did sort of cross paths with him. It was actually when he was playing the Good Life Festival in Sydney, and the reason why I was back there is because my stage got closed down because like the wind had blown the top of my stage off, so my set got cancelled. So I actually was just hanging out near the main, and then Avicii came in and played his set, and I don't know what I was doing after that. I was running around like a maniac probably, but
I can't. That's crazy that you've never seen him play live.
Never seen a set. Like I've never like saw a set. Been there. Yeah.
My favourite. What would you say? The best club in my opinion, the best nightclub in Australian history that ever will be is HQ West Terrace. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I've been to Melbourne, and I've been to Sydney, and I've been to fucking like everywhere, and I don't know if it's all situational, because I knew everyone there at HQ and it was just always a vibe. But that will always be my favourite club. But my funnest nights were always at the Vic on a Friday night.
The Vic.
The loosest fucking place. Do you have a certain club that holds like a real fond memory to you?
Mate, honestly, it's probably the Garden. Yeah, that was still to this day one that I look back on.
It's not
that was just really
HQ
fun.
specifically. The Garden was very special. I feel like the Garden to HQ was what Tasmania is to Australia.
I think like it was just like a real.
It's its own entity.
It was just such a good group of people, and the music was fun, and it was just like the start of my DJ career. So I was just having a lot of good time.
Do you want to see a crazy picture? I brought this up yesterday, and it fucking actually gave me goosebumps. Where is it? Soho Garden HQ. Someone's gone in and they've taken photos like when it closed.
Oh yeah.
And they're like pretty eerie, but it gives you the memories.
Right. I mean, it's still there. You can't do anything with it though because of the hospital. So otherwise, it would be cool to do a takeover or something. There
How
it is.
crazy is that? Oh no! What the fuck? Where is it? There we go. Here we go.
The disco ball.
Why is there a disco ball?
I think that's the big disco ball.
That is the
It
disco
was
ball.
a famous disco ball. I think it was like the biggest
we
in
go.
the southern hemisphere or something.
Look at that.
There it is.
That is it.
Is that recently?
I don't know if I
Looks
don't
a bit
imagine
trash,
that.
so it must be.
It looks a bit trash. So I
It's
reckon,
probably what it used to look like.
dude, that's what it would have looked like after a Friday.
True.
But I brought up all these pictures of HQ, and we were talking about it in the group chat because we were talking about how you were coming on the podcast, and it was funny. There would be like such a little picture of like a window, and you're like, oh yeah. As soon as you walk in the cloakroom, on the left, fucking 4 steps that way. It's like you still get these memories. I was trying to explain to my girlfriend because she's younger than me. She's 20. She turned 18 the year HQ closed down on West Terrace, so she never got to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. Because before that, it was heaven. I don't know if you're old enough to go to heaven.
I miss heaven. Just. I think I was just missed that one. Did a heaven.
Same vibes, but I feel like HQ was just different. Who owned HQ?
Few people, mate. I'm not sure. I'm not going to get up and say on the record who I don't know. I don't know.
It would have.
exactly
It
who
was a
owned everything.
fucking.
There was a few people that owned
It was a massive fucking operation.
it. Was a big business. Yeah.
After festivals as well, like after Futures at Bonython or after Stereos, I swear they would squeeze fucking 6,000 people in that fucking place.
That's big nights. That's big ones.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. But you're saying, so do you've gone down like the more trance kind of route now? Do you listen to other, have you always been into EDM? Or
Mate.
is your music kind of pretty broad?
To be honest, I've always been into trance. And I never...
When you say trance, can you give like an example of a DJ?
All right.
Because
yeah, it's pretty broad, isn't
EDM is so
Yeah.
it's so subgenre esque like metal, like when like rock and metal and
different
Yeah.
categories of it. Yeah, I guess at the moment, man, I'm really liking the hard house trance sort of vibe. You know, a bit of an old, like a more one of the godfather of hard house, BK. He's been around for, he kind of invented it from my perspective anyway. And you had a huge era back in the early 90s, and I missed it out just because like as that was coming out, that's when we kind of came into the, I don't know, we had like the electro that turned into dubstep and like Melbourne Bounce and EDM and whatever. But yeah, I used to listen to that stuff before I started going out and partying. Like that was kind of what I used to listen to in my spare time, like Skits Mix. I don't know if anyone, I'm really showing my age, but there was, and that sort of genre was like bouncy, trancey sort of music. That was kind of what I was into, and I'm kind of just getting back to what I originally started. The reason why I never got into making trance is because
not much of a scene here.
Well, I think there was a scene. But I was like, I've learned to taught myself how to produce. I was not very good at producing. To be honest, Melbourne Bounce is absolutely stupidly easy to make, and that's why I was able to just get in there and fudge my way through it. But you know, trance, you need to have melodies. You actually need to know what you're doing with the composition of the song. It's a lot more going on,
musically put together.
Yeah, well, you just got to be like a better producer, in my opinion. Like, you know,
Melbourne,
and I wasn't very good when I first started. I just could like drag in a kick, maybe make a bit of a loop. Like I had an ear for it probably, but I wasn't like, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know what musical key was or scale till like I was producing for like 4 or 5 years, I reckon. I used to just drag it and be like, yeah, I think people will dance to this. Export. I've
fallen into that trap of like thinking, what do DJs actually do sometimes? You know, like is it fair to say that the actual production of the track's harder than the live performance of it?
Well,
because I actually legitimately don't know what the fuck you're doing up there. Like when you're doing the music and you're fucking
not much
fanging around.
Not much.
It's a bit more of a performance, I imagine, than the actual production of the song is the hardest part.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is, DJing, if you break it down in what you're doing up on that stage, you're not really doing very much, are you? You just like sit up there, you play a song. As long as you can tap tap a song in beat and get it in beat and
not
in
really.
time,
You also do have to be a very good performer, because when the fucking DJ is like,
you got to have an aura about you.
when you got Timmy Trump or Will Sparks is very good at it. I've seen Will Sparks play fucking 5,000 times.
Yeah.
Like Will Sparks, excellent at amping up
He's a great
crowd.
performer, isn't he?
Very good at amp. Like you want to get as fucking hammered as possible when he's on stage. Or like who else? So one of my best friends, Zach, his auntie is a DJ called DJ Julia Fox.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
She's fucking so good behind this. She just played a set in Melbourne at Rev's pregnant.
Yeah, right.
She just
Good
had
on
her baby. But she's
Lovely.
like
Committed.
big fucking DJ. She has a massive following in Europe. I'm pretty sure she's like a big over in Ibiza. She plays Tomorrowland and shit. But I'm pretty sure her style is pretty trancey as well. She's very good. But yeah, it's hard to... I've always wondered, like, what are they actually doing up there? Like, you know what I mean? And no, I'm not saying that in a rude way. I've always legitimately wondered, like, are you mixing the tracks on the fly? Like, are all the tracks separate and you're fucking, like, mixing them on the fly and adding your snares and shit? Or, like, is it all preloaded and you're just fucking adjusting volume levels?
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, some people
Everyone's different, probably.
Everyone does different, but the thing is, it's not about getting. The hard thing about DJing is not the DJing. It's convincing someone to pay you a lot of money to go up there and do fuck all.
Interesting.
That's
a very interesting way to put it.
That's the thing that you have to figure out as if you want to be a successful DJ, and that's what most people don't get. They think it's like, oh yeah, but I can do that. It's like, yeah, fucking no shit. Everyone can play a timing beat, but are you smart enough to be able to get up there? And like, there's, obviously you got to have good tracks. If people are going to come and fucking pay a ticket price to go and see you, they want your USB needs to have some fucking good songs on there. You can't just get up there and just pay the generic shit that everyone can download off of fucking Beatport.
So it's almost like all the hard work's in the studio and then the performance is your victory lap. Like you get to just see the reward from it.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
That's pretty much like you've worked all this hard, and when you're on main stage at HQ, that's when you get to enjoy your work because you're just cruising, everyone's fucking loving it. You can have a drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good way of seeing it.
That's probably the only job in the world where you get such, like, that's a very weird, now that you've put it like that, it's a very unique job, because there's not many jobs like that where all the hard work is behind the scenes, and then when you're on stage, you're just absorbing all of this dopamine, and like you're just seeing everyone fuck with your shit.
Yeah.
It's not like a metal band where you're just rehearsing and then you got the anxiety of, oh my God, I might fuck up this chord live.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is like, I mean, yeah,
there is very talented, like it is a talent.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, there is like a bit of a playing a good set and knowing the songs to play and stuff like that. But, you can't take it away. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I think if you pull everything back down to basics, everything is just black and white. But the thing is, the magic of, some DJs, when they get up there and they play a fucking good set, but you can't really put your finger on what was so good about it. It's because they have, like, it's just some magic, It's like... Laidback Luke actually fucking...
Laidback Luke.
He describes it like this.
That's a name I've not heard that in a long time.
I'm not gonna take credit for this because he's the one who said it, but he puts it to this as this is how to think of like DJing. If you compare it to sex, at the end of the day, it's just going in and out. But it's more than that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit the same as DJing. Do you know what I mean? And he describes like that, and it was like, yeah, that makes sense. A great way to put it. So, Laidback Luke, yeah, shout out to him. Actually, he was one of the guys.
Laidback Luke's an OG.
Early days that gave me a go. I think it's a lot. All artists will always remember those artists that I guess you would say like took them under their wing a little, to give them their leg up at the start, because you need it when you're an artist and you're starting out. It's always you always have to be like. Someone needs to see something in you and give you a go.
Well, it's the same as the podcast, man. Like, I messaged you fucking X amount of years ago and you said like, oh, I'm not really doing shit like that anymore. But when you have a bigger following and you're more established, dude, I'll fucking come on. Like, and you kept to your fucking word and you gave me a shot.
Yeah.
Like, no, not people don't need to do that. Like, you realistically don't need to do that. You don't need to drive down fucking from the north to come here, but you did.
Mate,
you know what I mean?
Number one, I have respect for you for not only me sticking to my word, but you stuck to your word. You had something that you wanted to achieve, and you fucking sat down and you did it.
Oh,
dude.
dude.
I'm like, fuck yeah, I like that quality in people. I like working with people that fucking have ambition.
I've no fucking doubt in my mind that this will be the biggest pod in Australia in the next 5 years. Like, no doubt.
Good.
Like, I'm fucking...
Call me back
in
5 years' time. We'll come back and we'll both talk about how things have fucking got a lot crazier.
No, it's going to get bigger for you, Dave. I feel like the move to Europe would be fucking really good for you. Have you ever done EOS?
No.
Dude.
No, I've never been to Greece.
Dude.
Never.
Fuck Greece. EOS.
Isn't EOS in Greece?
EOS is in Greece,
right.
But it's just don't even worry about Greece.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same. So before I went when I was 19 actually, so this was before I went to Tomorrowland, I went on a 8-week trip just to Greece and Cyprus and shit. I can speak Greek, so I didn't book any accommodation. I didn't fucking do anything. I just booked a one-way ticket to Mykonos, and then I was going to figure it out. And I went to Mykonos, still had my luggage, didn't have any accommodation, met these two Aussie dudes within 10 minutes of being there. They were like, oh, we're going to go have a drink and go to fucking get on it. Do you want to fucking come out with us? And I'd never been to Europe. This is the first time I've been by myself to Europe. And they were like, oh, we got pingers. And I was like...
Such an Aussie thing.
I don't know if other countries
pingers,
know.
man.
I don't know
no,
if
dude,
other...
no one calls them pingers
Really?
apart from us.
Oh, so they were like, oh, we got some ecstasy. And I was like, how much? And they were like, oh, fucking €5 a tablet. And I was like, give me fucking 20. Just give me 20. And they were like, no, you'll fucking die. Like, if you act like you do in Australia, you'll actually fucking die. We'll give you 2 for free, but don't take them at the same time. Double dropped them as soon as I got them. And I've woken up 24 hours later, 6 hours away, on an island called EOS. Right. Didn't know where I was. Booked myself into a room, went to the desk, and I was like, where am I? And she's like, you came in and you paid for 2 weeks accommodation here, and you just passed out. And I woke up, and in EOS, it's just a party island. Like, there's nothing open during the day besides the beach club down the bottom.
Right.
Fucking tight. Will Sparks, I'm pretty sure, was playing that day during the day there. Such a fun vibe. Like, it's just a wild place. It's just a weird place. It's just everyone's there just to party. That's the only reason you go there. It's so fun. That'd be such a fun place to go.
Yeah.
But you can do all this now because that's only fucking 3 hours from the UK.
Yeah. I mean, definitely plan to do a bit of enjoying the places, around Europe, and it's just we miss out here in Australia.
We're just so far away.
People don't realise. It's so funny. I have friends come over from like overseas, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm coming over to Australia." They're like, "Where you go? Where?" Because they know I'm from Adelaide, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just going to Sydney and Melbourne. Just come by." I'm like, mate, I don't think you understand. That's like the same as someone in the UK flying over to France. Like, it's not just, we are very like long distances away from each other. It ain't close.
Look, I don't know about you, but your perception on partying is very different to mine because you're in the opposite end of it. But like I said off camera before, South Australia to me, back in the HQ, Apple Bar era, kind of like our era of partying, to me was like the best partying in Australia. It was just so loose. I feel like Australia is loose as a collective, but I feel like people from Adelaide get really fucking loose.
I mean, I think we do because like we still
There's not much to do.
Literally, a DJ from overseas literally just told us to calm the fuck down. So, mate, Adelaide, we're a pretty rowdy bunch. We're a pretty rowdy bunch.
When you go overseas too, and like you said, you party with people, Europeans and Americans and stuff, they drink very differently to us.
Yeah, they drink at a normal pace.
That when I didn't,
I have respect for themselves. They don't drink 10 drinks in an hour.
I've always known, but when I went to Japan last year, and they drink heavily over there, but they don't get like rowdy. They're very like. Have you ever been?
Yeah, I've been to Japan.
They're very like shy people, and
Asian culture. All of my friends over in Asia, I would even go as far to say as they definitely give us a good run for our money. They love to drink.
Drinking wise, insane.
Shots though, that's what gets you. It's like you're out with the
soju,
having dinner, shot. Before you know it, you've had like 10 shots, and you're like, oh, the DJ. It's actually funny. I was over in Jakarta just recently, and we were just sort of chilling out backstage and having a few drinks and whatnot, and every single time someone comes in the room, oh, he's the owner, have a shot. Oh, he's the promoters come up, because it's very like what's the word? It's like very. It's a bit of there's a lot of respect for like the owner and the people who have bottles, and it's just different to over here.
Very different.
You know,
cultures.
so you got to show respect and have a drink with them, and you know.
If
whatever.
you turn down a drink, it's very rude too.
It's very rude. Yeah, you can't be like, oh no, not because that's like, you know. Sort of thing. So you got to drink the drinks, and so I'm backstage getting ready with one of my new intros getting tested. So I'm like, they're like, all right, your set starts in 10 minutes. This was like an intro, because like a lot of DJs will do this now, but your intro gets triggered by the front of house because it has visual sync to it, and then you just kind of mix your first song out of that. So I'm like, done about 5 or 6, 7, 8 drinks. I really need to go to the bathroom, and I'm like. This is an hour and a half set as well. I'm like walking out, all of a sudden my intro gets triggered. I'm like, fuck, I had to like run up to the stage. Mate, there's one thing that sucks about DJing is...
You can't take a shit or a piss or anything.
I mean, luckily I've never had to take a shit while I'm DJing, but a lot of the time you get very good at holding on. And when you get off the stage an hour and a half, you just like... out of there. Yeah, like you back in the day, you can't do it so much now, especially when you're a headliner, because it's pretty bad form, I think, like to just like fuck off for like 5 minutes while people are like paying money to see you.
You're just gonna have to piss yourself at one point.
You know, you used to have like a piss track. They used to be like every DJ would have a piss track. I had one that was like an 8-minute song, and it was 2 songs stitched together, both really big singy breakdowns. It worked every time, and that was the one that I always used to play. I think it was like a Reload remix. You know, Angelo and Tommy Trash Reload with something else. It just went for 8 minutes, and I used to go like mix the intro right from the start, boom, boom, and I'd get back with about 2 minutes to spare every time. So it was the piss track on my playlist.
That's fucking hilarious. I never thought. It's funny when you hear like tricks of the trade of every job. Like every job has some form of trick of the trade. Yeah. I never even thought about how sometimes DJs might need to take a piss.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just fucking drinking beers, by the way.
Yeah, what are these? These are Japanese, are they?
Yeah, Japanese.
I'd have one
lagers.
with you, but I'm doing this challenge at the moment, and I'm got to be no alcohol for 30 days.
I have not gotten I have not gone hard. I was like morbidly sick for since December.
Oh, that sucks.
I just got
shit time of the year to get sick as well.
I always get sick around December because of work. I work really fucking hard from like the 22nd to the 24th of December. Kills me every year. Like on the 24th of December, I work a 23-hour shift.
Yeah, right.
I'm fucked.
Crazy,
I'm like knackered by the end of it, and I always get sick. I can't work like that anymore. I just get fucked.
You gotta look after yourself.
You said you've been to Japan. Have you ever played sets in Japan? You went there for work?
I went there. I played a tour actually. It was like good? My Melbourne Bounce tour.
Did they love it?
Japan. It was great. I had an awesome time. I got to play Kyoto, Osaka, and Tokyo. Got to go on the bullet train. I was there for like a week. It was one of the most amazing weeks of my life. Which was your
favourite city? Osaka. Osaka to me feels like
Tokyo, man. Tokyo, because it was just like I'm very like my childhood was very like Nintendo, Pokemon, and it was like I'm in a fucking video game.
It is.
It's just like
I felt like Osaka was more like I felt more comfortable getting loose there. Right. Like in Tokyo, it was cool. It was fucking dope. But like Osaka, I felt like it was a touch more westernized.
Right.
So I didn't feel as much of a dickhead getting blackout drunk. There was one night I got really Aussie drunk in Osaka.
Aussie drunk.
fucking
It's like a
Aussie
term
drunk.
here, is
Just
it?
loud.
Aussie
just
drunk.
loud and just
Getting
fucking
Aussie drunk.
bumping into shit. And I was like, the Japanese people just didn't know how to handle me. They were like, oh my God.
No, it's
fucking
very
crazy.
chalk
That's
and
a
cheese.
freshie, eh?
This, yeah, literally, I was at
Jaden.
Yeah,
Jaden, I see.
Jaden was there. He's
Oh no, that
it's,
was Jace.
yeah.
Jace Holden.
Jace Holden. Yeah, this is. You can see it's
Have a look.
very healing stages.
It's very
got
Jace.
that.
This was Jaden and Troy.
Yeah. This is the piece. So I was
Yeah.
asking him about that.
Yeah, they're doing the inside soon.
Very talented tattoo artists in
That
that,
was
place.
2 days.
This was a 2-day. Yeah, day on the hand and the day on the skull, on the side there.
Oh, I fucking hated it, man. I can't do it anymore. I got my full body, and this was the first tattoo. I left my arms till last,
Yeah.
and this was the first tattoo I got.
Cool ink. I like that.
It's different. I got all black and grey, and this is more colour.
Yeah.
But that's fucking very... Jace is fucking good.
He has a crazy style,
He
man.
has a very...
This is
know...
my first one that I got, is the dragon. And then this was a bit of an impromptu. We got the knight here. And then, yeah.
You're a fucking big motherfucker, man.
Big.
You're a big dude. I didn't realise how big you were.
Yeah, I'm pretty tall. Yeah, you know.
And you're on your fitness journey at the moment?
I am, yeah. It's important. It's important, mate. I think for me, anyway, it's trying to stay fit in this crazy lifestyle that I'm living is like, you know, you got to prioritize it because you know you got to look after yourself because there's a lot of fucking crazy shit going on in the I don't know DJ lifestyle.
That's I have to cut because I drink. Like the podcast is very drinking heavy.
Right.
Like I love drinking with people because I find the best conversations happen over drinks generally. I like doing them with sober guests and stuff too. But my funnest pods are always when the guest fucking gets
next one, I promise. Next one, I'll have a few.
When
drinks
you're back, we'll do a recap of what's going on in the UK.
Yeah, in a couple of years, we'll have a lot to talk about. But
like sitting down with someone, there's nothing funner than getting impromptuly drunk, like just randomly by accident drunk with someone.
Yeah,
and I thought it would be hilarious to record that. That's the whole basis of the pod.
Yeah,
like just accidentally getting drunk with someone because I can drink a fair bit, and not many people can fucking like. A lot of people don't drink as often. But
it's a skill that we've acquired from back in the day, being loose units. I'm the same, man. Some of the times
that's why it costs $500 to go out and fucking have fun.
Stupid. Like I honestly, like these days, I'm like, well, the chance of me getting drunk, unless I spend about $500, zero. You can't drink quick enough to get drunk. But the thing is, I don't really like to get drunk anymore because I'm just, you know.
Get too loose.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I used to like kind of write myself off, and lately it's just, you know.
That's why I don't like going out. Really. I don't like going out and getting drunk anymore.
Day drinking. Do you know what? I love getting drunk during the day, but at night, I don't know. It's just a bit boring to me. Day drinking, fucking love it. Anytime.
So funny.
When I'm not doing this challenge.
So funny you said that. Literally yesterday, I hadn't been loose all year. And on Friday night, I had a shit day, and I messaged the boys, and I'm like, let's go out and fucking get on one.
Yeah.
Went out, and I was like, the next day I woke up, and I was like, day drinking. I messaged everyone. I was like, day drinking is so much better because you start it but early. You start
and you
early.
Get your fun out of you before you ruin yourself
and then you
6 in the morning.
Go to fucking bed at like midnight or 11. Or you can kick on, but day drinking, there's nothing funner. I don't know.
It's just more fun.
That's
vibes.
Australian culture as well.
Yeah.
I don't think many countries day drink.
Really?
Day drinking in other countries might be alcoholism. Like, you have a problem. I think in Australia, it's more of a culture.
Yeah. There you go. Day drinking.
Did you play stereos?
I did.
Yeah. Which one?
I did quite a few of them.
In my opinion, we were talking about this off camera as well. In my opinion, Stereosonic 2011 and 2012 were the best festivals that have ever been, besides Future Music 2012.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll fucking actually bring this up. Have a look at this. So this,
the lineup, the lineup.
I have a lot of at my work, my business. We hire a lot of young kids.
Right.
So, and this really makes me feel my age, because the other day I got this like 16-year-old kid that works for me, Cooper, 15,
Right.
and he loves Dom Dollar.
Right.
And he was talking about this Dom Dollar the other day, and I was like, who the fuck's that? I had no idea who it is. Because I don't listen to new EDM and shit. I only listen to stuff I know.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, this person's coming and this person's coming to this festival. And I'd look at the festival and I'm like, it's just not the same. Like, stereos and shit were just so stacked with fucking talent.
Do you know what it was, mate? It was just a cool time because the style of music was in its like early stages, man. You know, it was very. It was possible to put on a show like this without, you know, imagine if you were gonna, but you know, we're getting the flyer up here. We can.
We got Tiësto, Avicii, Calvin Harris. Example.
Yeah.
Who has one of my favourite drops of all time. Example. Epic. The epic way you kissed me.
Do you know what I like doing? Is like seeing how many, you know, some of the artists that are sort of like kicking around down the bottom, how they've
gone up. Marlo's at the bottom.
Marlo live. Marlo live. I mean, he'd be headlining it these days.
Marlo's, I only realised recently, Marlo's from Australia.
This is one of the first ones, isn't it?
It was 2012.
Yeah, right.
2011 was the first, I believe.
I went to this one. I think I played in the little side. This was my first ever one. I think I was playing on the Red Bull Local Legends tent.
This is 2011.
2011.
This was the year I turned 18, I believe. I can't actually. Armin van Buuren headlining, bro. And I'm pretty sure 2012 is when Avicii released Levels.
Yeah, I reckon sounds about right.
Bloody Beetroots, Carl Cox, Afrojack, fucking Avicii, not even up there.
Yeah.
LMFAO, when they were actually a thing, they were good.
Right, yeah, LMFAO, that was... They made some funny songs.
Sub-Focus, some of the best live music I've ever seen. Not your kind of vibe by the sounds, but Sub-Focus were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, no, they make good music.
Dash Berlin.
Do you know what? Best DJ name of all time? I don't actually. Are they DJs or just artists? Bag Raiders.
Bag Raiders? Who's that?
Do you know what Bag Raiders?
No,
dude. Even without knowing them, best name.
That is. I used to be a Bag
Bag
Raider.
Raiders. They've actually called themselves Bag Raiders, and they're on a fucking festival lineup. Like that is just. So many people that wouldn't get it. And they're probably just like, dude,
that's an
you're literally like calling us Bag Raiders on a fucking festival lineup.
It's so funny that Australia has such a cocaine culture and it's the most expensive country to buy cocaine. It's so weird.
Do you know why? Because it's the human instinct to know that you always want what you can't have. That's why, isn't it?
Future Music 2012, I believe.
2012?
I believe that was it.
Yeah, Future Music. Who was on this one?
Swedish House Mafia.
Ah, yep.
Skrillex. This was it. This was when Promises came out. Have you heard? You obviously know Promises.
Promises. Yeah, that was yeah.
Diane Word came. Diane Word.
I saw Diane Word.
Yes.
They were unreal. They were probably that was a good one. I remember I saw Swedish House Mafia perform.
This is when Swedish House Mafia were on there like...
I don't know if I saw Skrillex play. I don't know if I saw... I remember I saw Swedish House Mafia.
Gym Class Heroes.
I definitely see... Diane Wood on there? Am I blind? Can I not see it?
You got the Stafford brothers.
The Staffies.
Timmy Trumpet.
I think that's when they took that... I don't know if you remember back in the day, they had that iconic photo of them just playing... Timmy playing the trumpet and the Staffies playing, and it was just like this sea of people. No one had ever seen anything like it before.
Are they still kicking it, Stafford?
Yeah, they're doing good, mate. Yeah.
Bro, Timmy Trumpet at HQ after this festival. He played after this at HQ, I believe.
Yeah, right.
I will never forget HQ after Future Music 2012. It was insane.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking lucky that my brother's 15 years older than me, and my sister's 18. I got so blessed with knowing security guards. So blessed. I could just walk into clubs And I just remember looking at that fucking line. Sometimes that HQ line would be insane. I just remember walking into HQ and you would never see anything like it. Just everyone's been on a fucking 12-hour, 24-hour bender.
Yeah, I know, right? Everyone was in a state.
But then you get festivals like that come to Australia now, and like Knife Party. I don't even know if they make music anymore. Knife Party used to make such fucking good tunes.
Yeah, I mean, you know that it's Rob Swire.
Is it?
Pendulum.
Is Pendulum Knife Party?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that like a side project?
I guess it's one of his side projects, yeah. But it kind of became his main thing for a bit. I've always been a big Pendulum fan.
Flux Pavilion, and then they show me these like festivals now that they're getting excited for, like Laneway, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm just getting older and I don't know the artist, but I'm like, it just doesn't look like the same to me.
Yeah.
Festival wise.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's
just
do you know old. Do you know what it is? I think there's some big festivals here, but they're very like multi-genreal. Is that a word? Multi-genreal.
It's like a bit of rap,
a bit of rap.
indie.
But this was just like a dance music festival.
EDM.
People went for dance music, and it was really good. And it was just it was a good day. It was a good day out.
What's your song?
My song.
What's your song that like as soon as you hear it, you need a bit like you're fucking activated?
I don't know. This is the hard thing about being a DJ is you go through so many songs over the years that it's hard to like pull one out of the hat. I don't know. I couldn't. I guess I would know if I hear it, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. As in like,
fuck, I have it on my Spotify, my song.
Yeah, what's yours?
I like really melodic music. Like I like when it has a good singer on it and it has a build up. Like much what you do with your girl. I like when there's a good singer. Like I think that adds so much to music.
It does.
So my preferred taste is heavy metal,
right?
Or like death metal or metalcore.
Yeah.
But even with that, I like metalcore because it's melodic. Mm-hmm. There's a good singing, and then it's very much dubstep-ish or there builds up to something, and then it just fucking hits you. Like I've always loved that. Lose My Mind by Ingrasso. Lose My Mind, that's my favourite song. Yeah. That's my favourite EDM song of all time.
I like that.
It's just melodic. It's just you're fucked up with your mates.
It's a Tomorrowland dance.
You love each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whenever I hear music like that, that just makes me think of Tomorrowland main stage. It's just that big calling, stuff like that. Swedish House Mafia early stuff. Alesso.
Don't You Worry, Child.
Yeah, that sort of gear.
They're just timeless.
I think it was a great era for music. I mean, I think, sometimes I even hear some of the stuff that I'm just like, this is not fucking music. This is absolute shit.
That's why I fell out of love with rap. So my whole left leg is a rap sleeve because when I was younger I was so rap heavy.
Yeah,
I got every fucking every fucking rapper tattooed on my leg. Mm-hmm. But I just fell so out of love with it because it's just you're just throwing shit at you. I just got sick of it.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find good music.
Do you know what, mate? This is the thing this is what's made me like really fucking get inspired again. Is you have to realize that the thing that you loved will get old. Yeah. If you want to look for those things that's like good music, you have to like evolve and change.
Yeah.
Because like everything gets rinsed, mate. You know, seen it happen with all these genres. There's always a cool period where there's like lots of creativity and there's like new artists and there's like not too many like I would say big names jumping on the bandwagon and like kind of like getting all the credit for it. It's just a lot of young people just whipping up tunes in their bedroom, heaps good creativity, and it's like good music. You always will find good stuff. That's why I've really like getting a lot of inspiration like listening to the trance now, because that's how I feel about that sort of style of genre. Like no, hasn't really got to the point where there's like 2 or 3 big DJs that kind of dictate the scene and like it's kind of do you know what it is? Monopoly.
It's monopolizing.
The genre is monopolized. At the start, all the artists have a fair go, and it's like what's called a meritocracy. If you make a good song, you get rewarded for it. But as the game progresses, some of these people die out, a few people get big songs, and eventually you have like a genre and there's like 3 or 4 artists that like they're kind of monopolized it. And that's to me when the genre is just getting a bit boring. You need to, you know,
it happened to dubstep.
It happens to every genre. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
You know, every genre, EDM, metal, I'm sure.
Every
genre is what happens. So like, you know, I think that's been a good thing about being a DJ is I'm always like instinctively looking for new shit. So you just have to like look elsewhere.
Do you know what I like? I like how when you know when the Sydney kind of grime trap kind of movement came with Hooligan Hefts and all that.
Yeah.
I've always really liked rap lyrics over hard kind of bouncy Melbourne soundy kind of beats.
Yeah, I do as well, man.
I really enjoy it. It's just fun club music. It's fun club music.
It's good vibes.
It's good to drink to.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Hooligan Hefts and those dudes, brothers, they did a song with Joel Fletcher.
Joel's done a bit of that.
Yeah. Fletcher really fucking... He's very smart in how he like kind of catches movements and he works with them. He's always been very good at catching like where the virality's going.
I mean, he kind of started. I don't know. He got a lot of. I'm not going to say that because I don't want to take anything away from Orchestrated because they were probably the ones that put hip hop and that style was two things together. But Joel really like took it to the mainstream.
Yeah,
because with Swing he brought like he went hip hop and Melbourne Bounce, and then created this own. I would say it's just Jolie's sound now. Like
Fletcher's very.
And he's always owned that, but you know, Orchestrated were the first ones to put like hip hop because they didn't really have any of their. Well, they did, but they just would put hip hop acapellas over like the Melbourne Bounce beats.
Nightcrawler, man.
Yeah.
That's my dirty song.
Yeah.
Like when I want to fucking, if I'm at home by myself and I'm fucking just, you know, when every now and then the moon's right and you're fucking just having a couple beers by yourself at home, I'll put on fucking Nightcrawler.
It's a good era of music, man. I love, honestly, for me, that's probably the most listenable like period of like the Melbourne sound that I can go back to and actually enjoy. To be honest, I mean, obviously people like me for my Melbourne Bounce, but mate, I can't go back and listen to it.
Really?
Yeah,
I fucking was listening to it. I was
there's a couple
to
songs
it all day. My miss was like,
I'm glad that some people still appreciate it. I think maybe it's just like...
I was listening to the Uber pod.
The podcast.
The Ubercast.
It's still going. I'm almost at episode 100.
Do you still
I'm thinking about doing
SoundCloud?
I'm thinking about doing something special for 100.
Why don't you... Do you know what I feel like has brought back... Not brought back, but there's brought some virality to EDM heaps? Those boiler rooms. Have you ever thought about doing one of those?
I have, man. I have.
I fucking love the setting. What's that? What's that girl's name?
Yeah.
Sarah Laundry.
Yeah.
Her fucking. It just looks. If you're there and you're on that level with everyone and you're right next to the DJ, it just feels so raw.
It is, man. It's a good vibe. I reckon. Sweet. I was thinking about, honestly, this is maybe this is on the record if someone wants to team up with me and, you know, make it happen. I just don't have the time myself. I'm way too busy. At the moment, I've just taken on like a new manager and a new agency. I'm just like completely focused on writing music. Running parties takes a lot of effort. So, you know, I would love to do like a little bit of a, you know, last hurrah for Australia before I fuck off for...
South Ave Seltzer, let's fucking team up.
Yeah,
South Ave the boys.
If we could get, you know, a couple hundred people together, cool setting.
I guarantee
couple vibes. I'd be very keen.
I would fucking put my life on it if you did a reunion party for a certain clubs in Adelaide or just some sort of throwback. I guarantee I could sell you more than 100 tickets.
I know, that's the hardest.
I said just by myself.
I know. The hardest thing for me, man, is like...
It's funding.
I'd love... No, it's not funding. It's that I'm at a point now where I'm like progressing into a new sound. You know, I'm doing something new and I don't want to be the guy who just is doing like the throwbacks. It sucks a bit, but
I love a reunion.
I know. I'm torn because part of me goes, yeah, do it, Ben. It'll be fucking unreal. You'll have a great time. But I don't want to be like come on, let's get all the old boys together for a 10-year flashback. I don't know. I just,
do you know what
it needs to be right.
Do you know what I feel
I would only
like
do
with
it if it was
reunions?
really, really perfect.
So my age group right now, I'm 31. So my age group still got one last hurrah. Do you know what I mean?
I know, man. Dude, this is why we need to do it.
We haven't had one in years.
I know.
There's never been a Vic reunion. There's never been an Apple reunion.
There is an Apple reunion.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. Almost Famous reunion. I'm pretty sure Collins organised it.
Bro.
So go down to that and
Apple as
check
a
it out.
venue, Apple Bar as a venue is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, just the venue.
It was a cool venue. The synagogue place, right?
I can't remember what religion or whatever. It used to be a church, I believe, of some sort.
Well, synagogues.
Synagogue's Jewish?
Jewish.
I believe it's a LGBTQ. It's a gay bar now. It's a Mary's Poppins.
Yeah, right.
I think. But the venue itself is so fucking cool. Like, it's so
cool
good.
venue.
So
Great
good
venue.
for partying.
It's a great venue.
Marble Bar used to be one of my favorites. Marble Bar was just a pit.
Fun.
It was just fun.
Just raw.
Just
good fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
But then things started like turning aggressive. I remember when I went to the night I fucking wanted to stop partying, I went to, I believe it was there was a Friday or something used to do a night called Bump and Grind on Weymouth Street.
Yep.
And someone got fucking murdered out the front. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, you don't want that.
It's getting too wild now.
That's no good.
Do you have like nights where like real crazy shit went down at your nights that you know of?
Mate, honestly, I don't really have any stories like that. Every single time I've played, there's never been anything like crazy.
That's so good.
Yeah, I guess it's just different scenes, man. People who are coming out to see a Melbourne Bounce DJ play aren't really concerned about shooting and robbing and
I
shit,
feel like
hip-hop's a bit different.
Hip-hop is so heavier.
Yeah,
like,
it's heavy, man. You know,
it's such a different crowd. There's so much like animosity immediately when you rock up, especially I found it because this podcast has a big Australian hip-hop community because I've had a lot of good, like very good Australian rappers on.
Right.
And I've really taken to Australian rap. Like, it's fucking good. Some of it's really good. And
actually, I'll just put because if you do have an audience, if there's any Australian rappers that want to team up on a trance track, hit me up because I'm keen. I want to do one. So
dude,
I've got a bunch of beats at the moment. The hardest thing with hip hop guys is finding one that's open to doing it over not a hip hop beat, because more of a
trap or trance.
Because a lot of them are like, they're just very, which is fine. They just I do hip hop and that. Whereas some people kind of like a bit of dance music and stuff on the side. That's where some of the ones Jolie's like teamed up with, like, because these boys obviously enjoy listening to, bangers and stuff.
Dude,
so if there is anyone that listens to this podcast, rapper, you don't have to be like a superstar or anything. Even if you're just like coming up, hit me up on my Instagram and let's get something cooking, because I'd love to pull a bit of like trance v, Aussie hip hop, put it on a world stage.
I
good.
After the pod,
bring it over to the UK as well.
After the pod, I'll put you on I'll give you like a list of fucking people and play you some of their songs. Yeah, and they're all my friends.
Yeah, killer.
Let's
do something before I fuck off to the UK. Then.
The podcast fucking really naturally progressed towards Australian hip hop for some reason. But without me knowing, I would have this person on, and then this person would get this person on, and then I'm getting one of the best fucking rappers in Australia on. It just naturally progressed, and I wasn't an Australian hip hop fan. Yeah, right. And everyone thinks I was, but I openly say I wasn't. But I've gone to the shows, and when you go to the shows, it's fun as fuck, but it's very different to what because I used to be a massive EDM head. I've
never been to a hip hop show. I've never been.
Hip hop, when you go to a local hip hop show, or where there's there is conflict. It's just different. It's a very fun vibe. It's very loose, but it's very different to EDM. EDM, you're fucking on such a dopamine high, you just grab your mates and you just want to fucking kiss them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Song comes,
vibes.
It's very different. Mm-hmm. But then when you get it's not as aggressive.
Right.
Dubstep shows can get fucking aggressive.
Yeah.
prime Skrillex was fucking epic. When
wow.
he ruined it and made it.
Yeah.
Like when you get that big, you can make the genre and also ruin it.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet? Have you ever crossed paths with Tiësto?
I have, mate. Yeah. Well, he was playing one of the I can't remember if it was Stereos or Futures back in the day, and yeah, I mean, the reason why Tiësto is like for me,
he's one of the
a big deal
goats
because my first ever experience with a DJ was not even in a nightclub or anything. I was still probably like 12 or 13, and my mate had a Tiësto video on when he had a house party, and I remember
Adagio for strings.
It was that era, and I remember watching it, and I was just at this party, and I completely lost track of everything else. I was just like, "What the fuck is this guy doing? He's standing up there, and there's lasers, and it's like, and it was Tiësto. He was kind of like, he's the dude. I love that the Tiësto era of trance is getting very influenced.
Oh man,
now, because it was the best. Straight up, it was the best era of trance. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll make it even better.
I don't think you can get better, honestly, than Adagio for Strings is a top 5 song for me of all time.
It's timeless. It's great.
Adagio for Strings, that lead up to the fucking, that if you would call it a drop, I call it a drop because it's just, that's what I know. I don't know the terms, but if you would lead, like the build up to that.
Where the kick and bass comes in.
With the symphony and when the kick and bass comes in, it's just the most ethereal fucking moment.
It's a tune. It's a great piece of music, that.
Avicii's not Avicii. Tiësto's Trance.
He is. Yeah, I mean he's done everything, that guy. He's toyed around. I mean, you know, maybe he'll go back to putting out trance records. Who knows? He doesn't need to because he already has done an amazing thing. You know, the Tiësto era back in the early 2000s was iconic. Dude defined the genre. You know,
I feel like he's like one of those people that, like when you get the people that transcend a certain genre or sport, like Conor McGregor transcended MMA. Yeah. Tiësto transcended EDM.
That's a good way to look at it.
Trance.
That's a good way, and
he's a cultural phenomenon. He's like Avicii. Avicii's a cultural phenomenon.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Like Avicii to me is very special. I don't know, just to me. It's just so melodic. His songs just meant something. They were always perfect. They always hit you at a time where it was like, I can kind of relate to this. Or you'd make yourself relate to it.
He was just a great artist.
He was fucking phenomenal.
Fucking great artist, Avicii.
Would you... If you really gun to your head, would you have a top 3?
Top 3 artists?
Top 3 artists?
Well, you know what? It'll just be the standard ones, mate. Because, like... The first ones come to mind. Number 1, The Prodigy.
Prodigy. Number one.
Just
interesting.
Like everything they're about. You know, you probably can't hear it too much in my music, but like that's where the aggression originally came from.
Prodigy.
Fucking Tiësto, because I guess like he was kind of like the guy that introduced into trance. And the third one's tricky, man. I don't really know, to be honest. Yeah. There's a lot of contenders for 3, and it kind of changes with my, over the years.
See, I've never ever in my life heard a Dom Dollar song, and a lot of people say he's the biggest one in the world
Dom's
right now. Is he the one? Is he the one at the moment?
He's killing it.
Would you say he's like the DJ at the moment that's killing it?
I would say he is. Yeah, I was listening to some of his music the other day. It's cool, man. He's killing it.
This is Suno AI.
This is Suno AI here.
So
right,
you would
make a song.
You will be able to. So when me and Luke were talking about it, I'm not a musician, so I can't get the most out of it.
Right.
But you know the lingo of music. So make this beat with this, and that.
Okay.
So give me something.
All right. So let's like make an iconic 90s trance beat.
An iconic.
Yeah.
Iconic 90s trance beat.
Yep. With what should we put with it? Maybe hyper pop auto-tune vocals and a catchy piano melody.
I don't have a producer, so I'm just doing this all by myself, mind you. Oh yeah, I've got a account here. So I'll take that off the screen. I'm just gonna wait up.
Have we got an intermission here while you load this?
I was gonna say I'm gonna pause. All right, we're back. I just had to do some stuff, but we're here.
So this is making a song for us. We're basically
just
doing a
song.
collab.
I'm basically a DJ now.
This is how easy it is, guys. You don't even need to produce anymore. You just get an AI to make you your songs.
They even give you a name, Luminous Dreams.
They've given you... This is us, is it?
Luminous Neon Dreams.
This is the...
They give you 2, I believe. And this is the free version. Like, you can really fucking edit it with the pro version.
Right. Give you all the stems and... So it's got lyrics and everything?
Yeah, it's got lyrics and shit, I believe.
Right.
You might be able to fuck with this, I don't know.
Flashing lights, we glide and we swing. Echoes of a neon dream we cling. Pulsing bass, the world starts to spin. Dancing through the fog, let the night begin.
Dude, you could fuck with that. You could.
City lights, they shimmer so bright. Colors blur in the electric night. Voices lost, but our hearts they scream. Bound together in this lucid.
You could work with that.
I mean,
as a bass.
I think that's what people are sort of doing with it. Just jump on there, get some stems out of it, and just
like you can't actually say. Oh, which one? I think the one that Luke made's still up here.
Hardstyle techno. Yeah, because he's doing techno now.
I'm pretty sure this is Luke's.
Right, let's play Luke's. Let's have a listen to it.
But like, if you heard this at a club, you'd dance to it.
I mean, yeah.
The lyrics are a bit corny, that's it.
It sounds like the same vocalist on all the tracks.
It's just an AI generated voice. But then it gives you two versions.
Oh, does it? You've got the male vocalist. I mean, it's crazy that this just was made by... No one did this ever. It was just a thing that the computer thought up because he typed some words into it.
And it's completely like, I won't get copyright strike for it.
This is actually... So this was a way that AI was explained to me, so like you can think of it like this. Imagine AI is if you had a 1,000 idiots that you could send off to do a task, and they all run off and scurry along, but the only thing is they've only got 50 IQ. That's basically what AI is. But you got 1,000 of them.
If you, like, as a DJ, you'd be able to take like a sample from here. Like this would be excellent for samples.
People do. I think you know, it's just the way I see it, mate. It's definitely not going to like.
It's not going to take over.
Mate, it's not taking over. I don't know. If anyone's listened to that tune in their own spare time, I mean, you need to look in the mirror and be like, what the fuck am I listening to? But as a tool for being creative, I'm sure you can, you know, use it. That's how a lot of other people are using it. I haven't actually... The only thing I was messing around with it was one called Parrot AI, which is you can get celebrities' videos and you can get them to say stuff. I made some videos that like...
See, when you get ones where you can like...
It's obvious that it's AI though.
But
it's obvious
some of them aren't. Some of them aren't.
Some of the better ones. I mean, it's just a cheap one. It's like $10 a month and you can get like Donald Trump and The Rock and stuff to... I would make up videos and send them to my friends and my family of just like The Rock sending them a message.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Some of them fucking aren't. But yeah, that's Suno.
Yeah.
You would be able to get a lot more from it than I would. You know what I mean? You
can have a bit of fun with it. If you, I reckon it's good if you are like, you know, stuck for ideas. You don't really know what you're going to do that day in the studio. Hop onto an AI and just be like, hey, what do you reckon? Maybe it might spark something.
Do you like? So with DJs, you can hear like that noise, and you get like a Do you ever like walk around? You hear like and you'll fucking
like just hearing sounds around you and be like, oh, that'll make it.
Like, how do you get your inspiration for like new shit?
I mean, maybe we could do it here. Let's make a video. Here, I'll see if I can make some. If nothing ever gets posted of this, then
I need a new intro.
Then it didn't work. But what we'll do is so I'm here on the podcast here with Sav. What's happening? And we're going to make a song out of sounds in the podcast studio here. So give us a bit of a pre-drop.
And we're on.
There we go. So we're going to use that. We need some drums. Here we can use this. We've got like a drum stick I can hit this with.
You got a lighter.
A lighter. Oh, this is lovely. That was kind of cool.
It's perfect.
Here, let's do that again. All right, so we have like a clang. We need like a kick. Give us a clap. Lovely. All right, we're going to need some sort of hi-hat.
Right, yeah.
You got something? Oh, yeah, it's like a little... Lovely. We have bottles being thrown at the ground. What else can we have that might be... We need... the bottle.
The bottle?
The bottle. The bottle will have a note to it. Here we go. So we have the bottle. Can you do this?
I got you.
I can't do it. Can you do it? I think you needed some liquid in there to make it. That's all right. Maybe a ding will be good. Here, let's use the small one and the big one because we'll get two different. Yeah, I think it's got to be half full to get a note out of it. Sounds like a. Here, let me go close. With do we have a metal?
You got that?
Yeah, we got a bottle opener and the bottle. If we can get 3 different notes, then I might be able to make some sort of. That's actually got some liquid in it still.
You got the gator pig as well.
Yeah, we got small. Here, let's line them up like this so I can make it. Because I'm going to cut this up and use this.
You keep doing that. I'm just going to close that door because it's wrecking in light.
All right. There we go. All right, here we go. I mean, that sound could have been good. All right. So we'll be quiet for this because I'm going to make a melody, hopefully, out of these 3. So we'll have to be quiet. Trying to get a good framing. There we go. Might be able to do something with that, and we got to get something with a hi-hat because the hi-hat is the. It's too chimey. How can we do a hi-hat?
Like a...
Oh, that's good. Yeah, give a bit of that. Yes. Okay, cool. We might be able to use that for something. Just needed some sort of hi-hat because... What?
Like a...
Yeah, like a high-pitched side. I mean, I could just do one with my mouth. I'll just do this.
That's fucking hilarious. And
Alright,
is
so
that the basis of a song?
So what we've done now is we have made the sounds that we're going to turn into a track. So let's make a track out of this.
It's called The Sesh.
The Sesh.
Dude.
All right, so yeah, I'll have a play around with that. Maybe that will turn into something, but
It's the things like that.
everything you need.
The
to-
things
to
like
make a
that.
song.
So you kind of like. Is that what kind of
I love that the VB bong in the middle.
the
as well.
VB bong?
Yeah.
Is that the stuff that kind of keeps you going?
I don't know, man. I just like being creative, bro. So anything that's kind
Because
of
being a DJ, you can be you can get very creative with sound.
you have to be creative with sound because I think like as a DJ, that's kind of like that's your thing. You gotta have new sounds. You know, if you got to have like new sounds people haven't heard before.
Do you know what I realised? So I never understood what a producer's job really was, or like making beats.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charlie Booth had a video on a late night talk show,
Yep.
and he was just hitting fucking
Oh, yeah, when he makes that song in like...
10 seconds.
yeah.
I don't know if it was curated or not.
Oh,
but
probably not, mate. I mean, that he's just a bit
phenomenal.
freak, yeah.
But like insane, like being able to like you don't realize every time you like make a noise somewhere, it's a potential beat.
It is, yeah. You can make music out of anything. We'll see if we can make something sort of decent out of that. I mean, you just put a kick and a bass on it. Maybe we can use it to promote this this chat. I'll be like, yeah, I was on a podcast and made a beat with.
You've done pods before.
I made
yeah?
I made a beat with a bong.
With a bong.
There you
The
go.
Australian
That's the tagline. I made a beat with a bong.
What school did you go to?
I went to Xavier College in Gawler.
Gawler. North boy.
North. But I spend a lot of time down south because, like you said, the party always seemed to end up down south, and I constantly would get stuck down south on a Sunday.
North and south are very like same but different.
Same but
It's
different.
very same. The east and the west very different to the north and the south. Like the
Yes.
north and the south are more brother and sister fucking
more
suburbs.
It's like blue collar.
Yeah.
Kinda Adelaide. Whereas
just-
it's a bit, it's a bit like, a bit suit and tie. The east and the west, isn't it?
So where are you? What's your plans for the UK?
What's the plan? Well, the plan is we're going to get an apartment. Ella and I are going to get a one-way ticket, move over there, and just
See what happens.
Yeah, it's as much of a plan as you need, I think.
12 months,
12 months.
and then if everything goes
If
well,
everything
extend
goes
it.
well, we'll probably stay. If not, we'll come back, I'm not thinking like that, though. We're going, and we're staying and it's going to get crazy. It's going to be...
When did she start singing?
She's professionally just this year, but she's been singing her whole life. She sings in her sleep. That was one thing that I didn't know was a thing, but she sings in her dreams and she sings. I'm like, she must be a singer.
Have you
know
been
what I mean?
together for a long time?
I wouldn't say a long time. It's 2 years coming up very, very soon.
It's probably fucking really weird that like you ended up being with a singer.
Well, I guess we just clicked,
Same interests.
Yeah, but the moment I met her, it was love at first sight.
Do you produce her tracks as well? Like, do you produce her sounds?
Oh, I've helped with mixing and stuff, but most of her like solo stuff was produced by someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a guy called Israel or Izzy or Jethro. He very talented guy, was working in a studio. He's actually moved over to Bali now. But she was making music with him. But I would say now I'm going to be making her beats. So,
yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I've never heard one of her actual like solo songs.
Yeah, she's dark bubblegum pop is her genre.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can sing though. She's
a great singer.
I like when people just sing like they can just sing like there's no... Like a lot of people have like a certain twang to their voice that makes them like heaps special. Like I like when especially women, when a woman can just really sing, it's really fucking powerful.
It is.
Like when they're just good, like a cappella, no fucking anything. If a woman can just belt out a song, it's so different to a man singing.
Yeah. It's very it's the power of woman, isn't it?
The power of fucking woman.
Yeah.
Are you nervous about moving? Well, not really. You've been fucking traveling around your whole life.
I'm not nervous about that. What do I get nervous about these days? Not much.
I was going to say,
I do get nervous about some things. I mean, probably one of the things where I do get a bit nervous is, before a set. Sometimes
you still get nervous?
Occasionally, man. Yeah,
if people are going to fuck with it or not.
I don't know. I think it's just like, obviously it's not like to the extent of maybe like a bass player or a band. But the thing is like, you rehearse. A lot of the times where you're going out there, you just like, especially club gigs, there's a lot of pressure on you as a DJ to, obviously if you want to get booked again, if you don't care about getting booked again, who fucking cares? Go do what you want. But, especially in some of these clubs, you are, you hope that, like, you're like, fuck, hope they enjoy the music that I'm going to play, and it usually always goes fine. But sometimes the thing is, sometimes you'll go to a club where maybe they want a bit more of a commercial vibe, and I don't know. I've never been.
Put on some Flow Rider.
I've never been. I don't know. I always like to. I think if you're gonna get booked, you have to play what you want to play as a DJ. You have to play for yourself, because if you're not enjoying it, then what's the fucking point for a start? But you're like, hopefully, because some places can be very, especially through Asia. There's a lot of clubs that are just like very commercialized.
They want Western bangers.
Yeah, but also
top
just
100.
top 100. Yeah, top 100, and especially in the bottle clubs and stuff. It's just it's I don't know. Get a bit nervous before those ones. I don't know. Maybe it's probably just normal. It's probably just normal to get nervous before performing.
Do you get oh my god, I lost my train of thought just then. I had a fucking really good question as well. Do you still like get nervous because you feel like you're not doing enough, or is it just because of the situation? It's just such a foreign situation.
I think it's just because, like, it's the unknown, right? You don't know what it's going to be like until you get up there and play your first song, So
when was that was what I was going to say. When was the last time you remember when you bombed like a set?
Oh, mate, there's one that I vividly remember in my memory.
Because I'm sure DJs have like those, much like
it was
comedians.
I would say it was a completely self-inflicted bombing. But basically what I did is there was a time in my career where I got sick of Melbourne Bounce. I was sick of it. I was over it. I didn't like making it anymore. And I had decided that I was going to become a trance DJ. But I was still getting booked for Melbourne Bounce gigs. So it was actually in Sydney, I got booked. And it was one of the more commercial bookings that I probably had come on my roster. It was alongside Savage and a few other of the bigger, more commercial radio-related Ministry of Sound acts. And I was playing last, and I got up there, and I played all this underground 150, 140 BPM trance, and like fucking cleared it, man. It was the stupidest move. I don't know why I did it. I should have just played my own music, because they wanted me to play Melbourne Bounce. Like, people were like, there, UBERJAKD, he's going to play Whistle Bounce, Jet Fuel, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I get up there and I'm ripping like 140, 150 BPM trance. Mate, there was about 4 people left at the end of my set. And I was just like, yeah, fucking, I'm sick of Melbourne Bounce. I didn't care. But this is quite a few years ago. That's like how long I've been wanting to become a trance DJ.
Do you know what?
Because I kind of got to a point with the progression with Melbourne Bounce where I went, this isn't me. This is. I kind of fell into it somehow. I can't exactly.
Fell out of love with it.
I don't know if it was never love to begin with, because I was just doing it because I think it was just the time and the place.
And it was natural.
But it was never. Yeah, I must have had a bit of a knack with it, but I got to the point where it just got to the end of the line. I'm like, fuck, I'm so over this. I fucking hate it. And then I was like, oh, that's it. I'm being a trance DJ. But, it's taken me the good part of 10 years to like get to the point where I am now, from, getting sick of Melbourne Bounce, reinventing myself, creating a new sound, had a whole team, apart from one person, come and go. Because I had quite a large team back in the day. Like, I had probably a 10, 15 person strong team at, those peak periods. And then eventually the team got smaller and smaller and smaller. Till the only ones left is a guy called Trent Grimes, my agent, who was the first person that saw something in me, that signed me back in the day. And he's still my Australian agent, legend. But yeah, now I'm building the team back up. I've got a manager over in the UK, and also an agency as well. So, as well as that, I've got a tour manager who's, my permanent tour manager. So sort of building things back up again with a new thing. Doing what I love.
Do you know what my favourite song of yours is?
What is it?
I don't want to butcher the name.
By the way, I don't hate Melbourne Bounce, by the way, if that's takes it out. This is like, I really appreciate it. And I always, if it's the right crowd, I love playing Jet Fuel at the end of my sets when it's the right crowd because, people love that song. But, yeah, just for the record, if anyone's like, fucking, who still likes it, think I'm off it. I'm not off it. I'm not off Melbourne Bounce, but I just, moved on to different things now with my music style.
Relapse is your best song. To me, that's my favourite song
Relapse.
of yours.
Yeah, Relapse was fun to me. It was with Trey. We lived together for a while.
Relapse is my favourite song. Yeah. I just like that melodic. I like the story behind it. I like when a song has a story and funny. A build up.
I mean, I'll give you the full story of that one. So it was when Trey and I first started hanging out, and we wanted to make a track together. We were just jamming in the studio, and he was making a beat or whatever, and I was like kicking through YouTube and found this Demi Lovato interview.
Was that a Demi Lovato interview?
Yes, dude. It blew up, and Ben Nicky deleted all the things because he was scared that it was going to be bad. Because he posted a thing saying, "Yeah, we remixed Demi Lovato." So I can't remember how he worded it, but it was on his TikTok, and he's got quite a following on there. But then the algorithm started cutting through to Demi Lovato fans, and he was getting absolutely fucking roasted.
For anyone who
and then he took it down. And then
everyone who hasn't heard, I'm just gonna play the start of this song.
It was a documentary she did, and I just cut out key little phrases that she said, and we turned it into. But it's not her in the song. There is a version that I play in my sets, the actual sample. We got an artist in LA who had a very similar accent to re-say it all. So. We had to get it redone.
Such a good song, man. This is everything I like in a song. It's got a story.
Party.
Yeah.
I just so happened to run into my old drug dealer.
It's a fun song. I still play, especially the
that night I did drugs that I'd never done before.
That little sample I played in my set all the time.
Once I relapsed,
but this is based on a Demi Lovato interview.
It was
the original version was an actual sample.
But
I had to take it out and redo it because
an upper and a downer.
You can't just sample someone. So we had to
dude,
redone.
Upper and a downer and an upper and a downer.
Because that was my idea. I was like, Trey was doing the beats and stuff, and I was like, yeah, let's cut up this thing. And when she says an upper and a downer, an upper, we'll just loop it indefinitely, and it will kind of be the song.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. That's my favourite song.
Yeah.
Of
cool.
yours.
Cool. Well, thank you. I'm glad that it's a newer song because
that's my favourite song of yours, and it's new.
Yeah.
It's just so. I love when something just builds up to something and it has a drop. I don't know if it's a dubstep kid in me.
Yeah.
Because my favourite song of all time, dubstep wise, I don't know if you've ever even heard it, Guided Relaxation by Borgor.
Oh, I'm not sure about that
Bro,
one. No.
I remember I was 14 smoking bongs in my mate's shed and I never heard of dubstep ever. I didn't know what dubstep was.
Right.
This was when dubstep first
when it was first new, yeah.
Yeah, and it fucking Dr. P was coming out and fucking all this, and then my mate put on Guided Relaxation for me, and I was like, this is an experience. It's probably terrible now. Yeah. It was Borgor though. Borgor is I feel like he's pretty niche. It's a very niche song. Oh, that visual gives me so many memories.
Find a quiet place.
It's
and
very
sit comfortably on the ground.
punchy.
Your back straight. Make sure you are in a very comfortable position.
Spooky,
Oh, I fucked it up.
With your back straight, make sure you are in a very comfortable position so you can let yourself go completely.
This was my first introduction into dubstep.
Right.
This is when dubstep hadn't kicked off yet. This was
your
new.
Eyes.
15 years ago.
Breathe in through your nose.
Fuck, was it?
Expand your belly.
Jesus Christ.
Hold. Exhale and blow away all your tensions.
When I I saw this at Futures, I died.
Let your body relax. Feel yourself relaxing.
Very like, you know what I mean? That whole dub, but
Man, it's so much like metal music.
it is. It's very metal-esque, and to me, I just fell so much in love with metal because it's. So my ex-girlfriend, I was always into metal, but more hair metal. Like I loved Van Halen, I loved Nirvana, I loved old school metal. I don't get in the sub-genres are hard. Like it's like EDM. Like you misgenre something and it's the worst. But that to me is just metal.
Yeah.
And I obviously fell in love with rap when I was younger, and then I got into my party and drug phase, and then I fell in love with EDM because it just comes naturally. And then my ex was deeply into like really heavy metal, and she took me to a show, and I was like, I don't think I want to go to a show. I just don't think I'd fit in. Like, I'm an EDM dude. I'm a rap dude. Like, I won't fit in there. And she's like, it doesn't matter at a metal show. Just come over.
Yeah.
I went to this band called Architects.
Okay.
Craziest show I've ever seen. Like, you can feel a live show for metal is so different to everything else. Like, you can feel the bass and the fucking live drums, and when it's perfect, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's very similar to dubstep. Like, it's such a unique experience. Metal's very unique. And they just get so into it, like they fuck each other up. You're just in the pit and they're punching each other and shit. And you're like, this is fucking weird. I was like, I don't like this. But then I was like, oh, I can see it. Like, everyone's just fucking getting out there, like they're loving it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, it's very similar. Metal and EDM are so much more synonymous than people think. Metal and EDM crowds are very similar.
Yeah, what do you think is most similar about them?
The love for the music. Like,
Do you reckon people love EDM that much?
I think people love it. I used to.
Yeah, right.
I used to chase EDM when I was younger.
I see it in like metal. I'm like, yeah, those people actually fucking live and die by this.
Do you know where you see it? It's the merchandise. The merch. Like, there is one of my mates has every merch drop from every indie fucking metal band.
Yeah.
A fucking band in Lithuania that has 7 followers. Like, he has their shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
crazy. Good on
they
you.
support like metal people support their favorite musicians more than anyone.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you. I used to have an Uberjacked hat.
Yeah, right.
A bitch stole it from me from HQ.
Damn.
Do you still have them?
I don't have any
You
of those
don't have
ones. No,
any
they're
of
done.
them.
There's like
Dude.
not ones that are not. I mean, there's some old ones that are kicking around the house that my dad's kind of claimed he likes wearing.
The
that
old
around,
school
but, yeah.
Uberjacked hat. I used to wear it all the time. And I remember when I lost it, I was like, oh my God. I've always been a hat guy. I've always loved hats.
Yeah.
And you used
the
to
hats, man. That was such a. I remember when I made those hats. I don't know why I did it. I was just like,
You used to have really good merch.
yeah. I think I just put a lot of effort into getting all the merch and all this shit, and I just saw like, oh yeah, just go and order these hats. I don't know where I ordered them from or anything. From China.
You had a really good brand, man. Like, you as a person, you had a very good brand. You had a very good reputation with everyone. Whenever me and my boys knew that Uberjacked was going to be playing somewhere, we knew it was going to you always brought a very good energy with yourself.
Yeah, I always try to, man. It's it's important. I think as a DJ, you gotta bring the party with you.
Yeah.
Don't you?
But those Uberjacked hats. Those fucking hats. I'll never forget that night. I just had it on my head and then I just didn't have it anymore.
Hat thief.
Proper hat thief.
I used to hate it when girls did that back
Girls,
in the day.
it's very...
I used to lose it. Like, I would go from like being like a really fun guy to be around to like put the fucking hat back on my head. And they would always put it back on your head.
Do you have like interest in sports or anything, or is fucking... Like, what do you take your days up with?
What do I take my days up with, mate?
Do you have like a...
Yeah.
sport you watch, or do you
No,
have?
I'm not. I don't really watch. I mean, I love going to games. I love doing shit, man. That's the thing. Like, I'm not a big. I don't like watching TV much. I'm probably a lot of my days spent like.
You can get good samples from TV and shit, though.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine if you watch like a lot of media as a DJ, you have a lot more like you hear a line here and a line there. You get like a lot of.
Yeah, you're just pulling samples from random shit.
Because at the end of the day, being a DJ is all about samples, isn't it?
A lot, yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of you
You
got to
pull
have a
it-
good knack for like you got to have a good ear to be a DJ. You know,
Like you pull it, you're listening to a show like if you're listening to say
Like, yeah, that's
Squid
it, put it in
Game
a track.
and it's hot at the time.
Yeah, you got to have a good ear. You got to have a good like. I guess yeah, I agree with you, man. I think that's definitely an important part of being a good DJ. Is like you got to have a good ear, like because there's some people that like great producers, but like sometimes like I'm like, do you even listen to this? Like technically it's really good, but like it's just not it. Which is like it's hard to sort of I don't know give feedback on stuff like that because I think like now especially with AI and YouTube it's so easy to be like technically a perfect producer, right? But like the idea is like what is most important, you know, not overproducing it as well, which is
Too much.
not overdoing it. Yeah, just having. And that's it. Sometimes the idea can just be as simple as like you heard a little thing on a Netflix show and dragged it into a track and like people were like, oh, you know, he can't produce because he's just doing this. And it's like, who cares? If the song's good, then why does it matter? Do you know what I mean?
Do you have like obviously when you're younger, it's the same as in any trade. When you're younger, you're not more focused on in your career. You're not focused on more the technical aspects of the career. Do you find yourself more as a musician now than a DJ? Like, are you more musically talented now? Do you focus more on like the beats per minute, the tones, whereas when you were younger, you were just more let's fucking.
I don't know, man. I sort of think of myself as a music producer, you know, which is like you got to kind of do a bit of everything, you know. You're not really like going to be the best ever like keyboardist, but if there's a keyboard out, you got to be able to do something.
You can play a few instruments.
I can play a little bit of keys, and I tried to learn guitar, but I gave up on it because I'm like, because I knew how good I wanted to be, and it would have taken me years. It would have taken me years, and I you know, I'm like, fucking, you just need to focus on what you're good at, and I'm, you know, I think I have a good ear for like music production and like making songs. So
I play the guitar,
on that. Yeah,
and it pisses me off when I see someone that's just so naturally talented on it.
Do you know what I think? The thing is, there's naturally talented, but I think a lot of people. There's
They
a lot
grind.
of practice.
No.
There's a lot of practice.
It
doesn't just come.
When I say natural talent, like you have to fucking grind.
You got to love it in every moment, because you know the thing is that this is the way I see it, is like to be good at anything, you have to put in your 10,000 hours. Let's say like it's give or take, you know what I mean. But to be good at to be in that like top echelon of people to do something for 10,000 hours. The only way you're ever going to get there is you need to really love that thing. You're not going to do something for 10,000 hours that you don't fucking love, are you?
Exactly.
Because you'll get sick of it and you'll quit. So like, it's just, yeah, it needs to come from your heart. Like, when people say to me, I'm like, they're like, oh, you know, I gave music production, but I'm a bit tired when I get home from work, so I can't really be a music producer. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? I used to work a full-time job, come home, spend 4 hours making tunes, sleep, and then go to work, and just did that.
Have you ever heard of? So I had this guy on my pod. To me, he's the best Australian artist.
It's like you with this. This is what you do with your spare time. You choose to do this podcast because you fucking love it,
yeah,
right?
it's for free.
You do it for free because you love it. That's the only time you're ever going to be able to do anything good in life, is you have to do what you love. You know?
Exactly.
And, you know, the smart people learn how to monetize that.
Would you have any like small advice for any young kids that want to pursue DJing?
Literally what I just said.
Yeah.
Rewind what I just said.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be real with yourself. And do you actually love it? Do you love DJing, or do you just want to be famous and be popular?
That's why I never...
Because there's nothing wrong with that. You know, but maybe pick something else, because like, you know, being a DJ, you have got the most competition. It's so saturated that unless you are unless in your mind you think to yourself that I'm the fucking best at this, don't even bother.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not from an egotistical. You also have to be humble.
You can't realize go half in.
And realize that you actually suck as well.
But you can't put half your foot in. You got to put your whole foot in.
You got to put your whole foot in. Like, things started to happen with me always when I dive in the fucking pond, you know. Things started to pick up with my local DJing when I stopped my day job.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I was like, by no means was I set up. By no means. Because I talk to some people and they tell me, I'm going to really get into DJing just once I've paid down my first house. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's the risk in that? You don't love it. If you're going to follow your dreams, you got to do some scary shit. It's not going to be safe. There's not going to be all the answers. You're not going to feel like, yeah, that's the smart decision. Everyone around you is going to tell you that it's stupid, but you're going to do it anyway because in your fucking heart, you know this is destiny.
That's fucking very true. That's some good words. Like, you have to be willing to risk so much to achieve greatness.
You have to. Yeah, and there's no safe way. There's no safe path to fucking doing great shit. You have to like go like, I don't care. Like, for example, I've kind of like sold everything I own basically, apart from what I'm taking over in a suitcase and a few little items that I've donated to my mum and dad basically. I've basically just sold down everything I own to move over to the UK. Nothing. You know, I sold my cars, sold my fucking house, sold all my furniture, sold my studio, sold everything. Because my destiny is to go over there and fucking just give it a crack. You know? So like,
and if you fail, you fucking fail. Like, but failure is not an option.
Well, failure, what even is failure? You know? If you truly, like, even if something doesn't go to plan, if you learn from it, it wasn't a failure. It was training.
Exactly.
Right? It's just training.
Exactly.
And then you got to get back on and do it tomorrow. You know, it's not, there's no, I think like, I don't know what it is. It's something I think that like we've had ingrained with us with the school system, this whole like, failure and passing thing. Yeah. This fucking stupid thing that like failure is bad. Failure is not bad. Failure is not the right word for a start.
Training.
Because it doesn't matter. If you're playing a training match and you're out in the field in footy, it doesn't really matter. Even the game is just training for you to play the grand final. That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? Like that match, even though it's an important match, maybe the grand final, maybe that's a test for you. Let's use footy because everyone's Australia's footy is a good example. Even when you're playing the grand final, obviously winning is fucking important. I'm not saying winning isn't important. Winning is the most important thing because winners fucking win all the time. But even the grand final might just be training for like a bigger purpose in life that you have. You know, everything is just to move on to the next. You got to have like bigger and bigger aspirations, and you know, it's it's a weird thing. People like, you know, it's getting better and better. I think it's like good that like things like, you know, there's a lot more information out there for people to make up better decisions. But like, so much was just like you learned what you learned at school from your mum and dad, and that was your view of the world. You know, now it's like people go, oh fuck, that's true. Yeah, so failing isn't bad. Right. Interesting. Then you realize that fucking taking a risk, who cares? What's the worst thing that could happen?
It's going to figure itself out.
Always ask myself that shit. If I feel like I'm being a bit irrational, which I am a very irrational person because I'm like very like just I tend to go all or nothing in a lot of things. And I just ask myself if I'm like, fuck, am I being a bit, what's the worst thing that could happen here? And I always think about it for a second. I'm like, it's not really that fucking bad. All right, just do it anyway.
Worst case scenario, bro, you just get a job.
Mate, yeah.
If that's the worst case scenario where you have to assimilate to what everyone else is doing.
It's not, like, I mean, and that's not that bad. You can still follow your passion doing a job, right? You know, it's not like, you know, when you're at your job, you're working 24 hours a day. You know, you need maybe 7 to 8 to sleep. Whatever you do in that other part of the day is the most important. That's the thing that's going to define your, I guess, yourself. You know, what do you do when no one else is looking? You know, are you sitting on the weekend getting people on for a podcast to, like, you know, follow your dreams? Or are you sitting around with the boys, have, you know,
on a bender,
on a bender or up the river, just like doing fuck all? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Everyone's got different things in life.
Do you know what? I see so many people that are like 35, 40 right now, and they're just going through the motions. And I've never wanted to be one of those people. Like,
yeah, same here, bro.
I see so many people that are 40 years old. They hate their missus. They fucking are just in this shit situation where they go to a job they fucking hate every day, and they come home and they're earning fucking shit money. They're renting, and it's like, I'd never wanted to be like that ever. It's just might be for you. It's not for me.
Yeah,
I just never want to be like that. I don't want to hate my situation I'm in. I want to do what I want forever.
Every day is a fucking absolute blessing.
I'll do this till the fucking wheels fall off. Like, I don't care if it ever gets fucking huge. It will, but I don't care if it does. I'll do this till the wheels come off because I just like talking to cunts.
Yeah,
That's just how it is.
It's yeah. You got to do what you love.
You have to.
You have to do what you love. And the thing with love is love is not just all sunshines and rainbows, is it?
No, love's terrible. Love's the worst.
Fucking the most hurtful thing in the world.
Everyone thinks hate and fucking spite and fucking revenge is like the worst traits you can have. No, love fucking hurts you more than anything ever.
But it
And
also
it's
is the most fulfilling thing
exactly.
ever. You know what I mean?
It's such a test to your character as a person.
It is,
Like, I love this pod so much. I love this podcast. It's ruined relationships for me. It's ruined everything for me.
Yeah.
Because
it's just not the right people. I've had people come and go in my life. I don't want to get into talking about this on the podcast because whatever, but you know, I've had partners that didn't work out, and you know,
because it's not the same interests, not the same vision.
When you get when someone comes into your life that you know is like a good value person to have around, you fucking cherish them.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
But the thing with being young is you don't really know. You're just having a good time, you know.
You don't know, and you're just having fun. Like, at this point in my life, I'm just so focused on what I want to do. And I realized like 2 years ago, I'm so sick of like accommodating other people. And you have to be, to want to achieve something, you kind of have to be a little bit selfish. And I never had selfishness in me. And I feel like selfishness is very important if you want to achieve a goal, you have to have some form of selfishness in yourself. Well,
the reason why is because we're taught that being selfish is a bad thing.
Well, no, it's just I want to accomplish something and I really want to fucking do this. Like,
but there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with
at
that
all.
At all.
So, if you're a young kid and you have a fucking goal, just fucking do it.
Just do it. Exactly. Yeah, just
fucking do it.
You don't need permission from anyone. Just go and do it.
Because at the end of the day, when you're 75 years old and you're like, fuck, I could have done that, you're going to die fucking really upset. Like, at least try. If you, failure, if you have the failure, you're like, at least I fucking tried. Like, at least I had a crack.
Having a crack. There you go.
Having a crack.
Having a crack.
Australia.
That's it. Have a fucking crack. I'm with you, mate. I think it's, you know, if I'm glad we sort of went on to this. This is more inspirational stuff. I love talking about this sort of shit.
Well,
man.
it's like, do you think Avicii thought? Avicii obviously thought he'd never be famous. He wasn't built for it. He just happened to go into this scenario because he was obsessed with it. Same as Tiësto. All of these outliers, Conor McGregor, all of these MMA athletes are the top 1%. John Jones. You can put it in any sport or any avenue where someone is a top, not even 1%, when you're a top 0.1%.
Best of the best.
When you're the best of the best, it's a game of millimeters. It's not like you're more talented. It's like, I want this more. And if you want something more than someone and you keep fucking going for it, you're going to do it.
That's it, mate. Mindset. You gotta fucking.
I've quit at heaps of things.
Yeah.
I excelled at so many things in my life, and then I just quit because I didn't want to do it. Like I just happened to be good at it. Guitar, sports. I fucking hated sports. Like anything. Like I'd excel at it, and then I would just stop doing it because I didn't want to do that. But if I kept going and I had the mindset where I needed to do this, I would have really excelled at it.
That's it, man. Well, it's you got to be like real with yourself as well. I think like there's so much pressure, you know, that you need to do this or be this, or you know, my parents want me to be this, or you know, my friends would think it would be cool if I was.
That's
like,
where the selfishness comes in.
Yeah, and you know, if you want to follow, you got to follow your heart.
Friends,
as corny as it sounds.
Friends honestly is the biggest thing. Because when I was like 17, 18, 19, we just wanted to party. And it was very fun, but it was not productive. Like while I was partying, other people were grinding, and that's the difference.
Yeah, partying is
you have to still have your focus. Like you can't let it take you away.
You gotta be working towards something. There's nothing wrong with blowing off some steam.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. But you do. I used it as a fucking like. I don't know what I used it as, but I used to get so fucking loose where I would just not even be coherent to like a normal person. And it's like that's the difference between someone that's really focused from a young age and someone that's not. Like if you're 15 and you're grinding your whole life. Like my last episode was with a girl called Taylor Ford. She just represented New Zealand in the wrestling Olympics.
Yeah, right.
She wasn't out getting fucked up at 16. She was like, I'm going to be a Olympic wrestler one day.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to do.
They don't go hand in hand, those two things.
But she still had fun and shit. She's traveled the whole world. But some things don't go hand in hand.
No.
You know what I mean? Like in life, you need to really pick your avenue. And you also, it's fine to not know what you want to do sometimes. Like when you're 16, 17 and school's like, what do you want to do next year? You got to go to uni. You don't need to know.
You don't need to know.
You don't need to know. You can figure it out. You can figure it out later. You can also just have fun. It's fine to be both. It's fine to be extremely driven, and it's fine to not know what the fuck you want to do with your life at a young age.
I mean, everyone's got a different path, don't they?
Exactly.
You know? It's just about just trying to you know, do your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's so many pressures. Like you go on Instagram now, and there's all these fake accounts of like 20-year-olds with fucking $10 million houses that they've rented.
Does anyone believe that shit though?
They do. That's the problem. Like people think that all these fake lifestyles are real. It's not real. Anything you see on Instagram is so fake.
I think you know, you gotta have a good radar for bullshit, don't you? Because,
it's harder. It gets just so much harder because there's so much monetization in being.
Do you know what the one thing that can make you fucking avoid all this stuff that we're talking about right now? One simple thing. Don't take fucking shortcuts.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that people are trying to do when they say, oh, look, this guy's drop shipping companies and I can sign up and give him
crypto,
$10,000 and he's going to make me a millionaire. No, he's not. He's not. He's going to rip you off and you're going to fucking learn a lesson that don't do that again. Just if you really want to be a millionaire or fucking, it's not even that much money these days, really, $1 million. If you want to be wealthy and well off, you have to be coin that it's going to take you 10, 15, 20 years. It's not going to happen in 12 months. You have to just fucking do the work.
There's no crypto coin now that's going to make you rich. Like, mate, you're just getting shilled all this shit. So one of my friends, he's passed away now.
People want to just take a fucking shortcut. Look at Adrian Portelli. He capitalized on how fucking lazy and dumb we all are. People going in his lotteries. How about just fucking put some time into yourself and like become a better person instead of taking your fucking chances with a lottery ticket?
And
good on him though. Good on him. He capitalized on how fucking shit and lazy we all are. So he's so fucking lazy.
But he's figured it out. Like, so smart. But one of my boys, he's passed away now. His name's Will. When we were younger, we were like 18, 19, 20. he had like 30, 40 Bitcoin when they were worth like $800 each.
Right, yeah.
We used them all for drugs.
Mate,
Online.
The thing is, you didn't know. That's
Hindsight.
just all it was.
Hindsight.
There's hindsight is great, but
like those,
you weren't to know.
But you're not going to get rich off of a Bitcoin anymore. You're not going to get rich off of you can't, exactly like you said, you're not going to get there in 12 months.
It takes...
But they tell you are. Like Andrew Tate, this, and that. You're going to join this, and you're going to join this group, and you're going to pay $50 a month.
Do you know what people need to get a fucking tattoo on them? It will be the most best investment of your entire fucking life. Go one on your arm that says, don't take shortcuts.
Exactly.
Don't ever do it. Don't ever. Whenever you try and take a shortcut in life, it will always bite you in the ass.
Later.
100%.
100%.
Even if you get that quick win, even if you were lucky, because that's all they're trying to go on. I'm going to be luckier than the other people, and I'm going to win the crypto game because, like, I think crypto is a great investment. I've invested. And I think it's a good on Bitcoin.
It's a good investment, but it's not a get rich quick scheme.
No, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
It's a long-term
Anyone
investment.
that tells you this is a get-rich-quick scheme, get away from them.
Yeah, it's bad.
Because it's a get-rich-quick scheme for them on the expense of you.
Yeah, it's just fucking... It's like... money's so less valuable than it was now. It's just...
Yeah, money in particular is... I mean, inflation and stuff.
It's just so much less valuable. Like, you need... Dude, this house here, I bought this house fucking when I was 20 or 21. Like, my parents got it in my head. They're like, just buy a house.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you do, party all you want, just buy a house. Bought this for fuck all.
Yeah.
A house in Morphettvale now is worth like $700,000.
Yeah.
How the fuck is a kid going to buy...
Well, the thing is, you cannot.
You can't.
You can't. It's not on your realm of things that you should be focusing on. You need to focus on opportunistic areas in your life.
But owning a house isn't everything.
Owning a house, I think is... I look back and I'm like, the thing is, maybe it's worth that. But to be honest, was it that good an investment to get from, I don't know how much you paid for it, let's just say $100,000 for the sake of this example. You paid $100,000 for this house 15 years ago. And now it's $700,000. End on end, it's not actually even that good an investment. You could have probably just got an index fund, and you probably would have, if you put $100,000 into the stock market back in that, mate, you'd be a multi-millionaire.
Exactly.
So it's not even that good an investment, but it's safe, which is good for some people. But what I'm trying to say, the point of what I'm trying to say here is, if you do have big aspirations, you always need to look for opportunity. And there's no there's no opportunity. Not unless you're like a fucking real estate agent or like really have an in with real estate. Don't waste your time. But you need to find other areas of your life where there is areas of opportunity. The best area of opportunity is in yourself. Because an investment into yourself is one that it's the best investment you can ever have, because you can take it with you everywhere. People can something devastating can happen. Look at all these poor people over in Los Angeles losing their whole families.
That's wild.
Their houses and everything. Because that can happen. That can happen.
Wild.
That can happen. And do you know what? If you invest in yourself, it doesn't matter if you lose material things, because you can just get them back.
Yeah.
Material things are fuck all. Everyone's like, aspires to have like... I mean, don't get me wrong. Material things are fucking fun, and they are cool. And I don't have I'm not like a fucking hippie or something. But it's like this thing, the mansion, the fucking, the Bugatti, like a Rollie or whatever. And it's like, these are things that are cool, but the thing is, they're just things.
Bro, you asked me 12 years ago what I wanted, and now opposite. Like, complete opposite. 12 years ago, change. I want a fucking Rolex. I want a Audi fucking, I want this car and I want this. Now, I just want fucking 20 acres deep south. That's all I want.
Yeah, I mean, your priorities change. You probably got to know yourself a bit better. You're like, well, you know, Rolly, what the fuck's it going to do for me? It's not even. It's not even a very good watch.
I think you learn.
If you want a good watch, get an Apple Watch.
I think you learn like how much. I think you learn that your circle doesn't need to be as big. Like you said, when you started, you had a fucking crew of 15 people. You didn't.
I mean, I'll get there. My team will be bigger than it was in a few years.
But do you know what I mean? Like, when you started finding that you were hot and kind of viral, did you find that people were just hanging on to you?
I mean,
or have you always been pretty lucky?
I mean, let me dive into that in a little bit more detail. I mean, I feel like if you're looking at things of like, oh, this person's hanging on to me, it's very like victimizing view of yourself. Like, oh, they're just exploiting me and yada yada. It's like, well, no, you fucking need to learn to deal with people better, because at the end of the day, everyone's actually exploiting you. Do you
find that you needed to be a better judge of character? Because I imagine I always reflect to like, imagine being as famous. No one will ever be this famous ever again. But imagine being as famous as Michael Jackson. Like, you can never have a real interaction with anyone. Or Avicii. Even Avicii or Tiësto. Everyone's, like, so up your dick that you can never have an actual honest relationship with anyone. Because there's always an ulterior motive.
Yeah. I mean,
and you would have felt like a little. I feel like you.
Oh, don't get me wrong, mate.
You would have felt definitely a little bit of that.
I've felt it more because I was very naive growing up, and there's people that I thought were friends of mine that don't fucking call me, don't talk to me anymore, and don't. I would put my hand out for them when it was their time of need, and like
nothing.
I fucking don't fucking hear anything from them. So those people out there can, you know, still, you're fucking, you know, people that are just taking opportunity of people. And if that's how you like hold yourself as a I was going to say a man, as a human, then, you know, at the end of the day, then that's a kind of, I think, a very, you know, a way of being that is not, you know, what's the right word here? You're not basically letting people. You're leading people and being a bit fake, essentially, you know. If you're, you know, and there's nothing wrong with people that you deal with that are like, all right, let's do business. We're doing this, and there's a very like good understanding. But it's people who try to cling on the guise of a friend,
riding a wave.
You know, but the thing is, that's still on you as a person, because you got to be able to sit there and like, you know, realize this, that like.
But it's also different because you can also. Your boys who are there with you from the start, you should, as an obligation, you should take them with you to the end. If they're with you from the start and they're fucking with you and they're doing everything right, I feel like there's certain boys in my life that have vouched for the pod and fucking buy all my merch. They fucking do everything. Those boys, no matter how big this pod gets, I'll always take them with me. But you can definitely tell when people are just trying to ride the wave.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, like I think it's called like you know, grounding yourself. You know, you gotta have like people around you that like you can be you. Because like the more success you get, the more.
And you need people to tell you you're a dickhead.
The more people that won't tell you you're a dickhead, they'll tell you, yes, let's do this, and it's on you to like be able to see that shit. You know what I mean? Because. The more success you want, the more temptation there is.
Exactly, and especially when you're a young bloke and your career kicked off when you were like in your prime of partying. I imagine you didn't have like an inexpendable income, but you had like a very fucking well income. And when you're a DJ, I imagine that a lot of things come your way that would be like free here, free there, and a lot of it would be you need people in your entourage to be like, we need to stop.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why I went a little bit too hard, because I was definitely having a lot of partying back in the day. But, you know, it's how I did it. You know what I mean? It was just me. I was just having a good time. You know, it's not like I was, trying to be anyone I was not. I'd always just love having a good time. I don't know. I think it's just me. I would just love fucking bringing people together, having a party, kicking on. Always the last man standing at a fucking kick on. That was me every time. So it was just like nightclubs was just a great place for me because I could just fucking run around like an idiot all night long, and it was just like an endless party.
Kick-ons is such an Australian coin term.
Yeah, they call it afters.
The afters.
Yeah, kick-ons. I like kick-ons better.
Kick-ons is way better.
Yeah.
But I will keep it short because you got a long drive. But I fucking appreciate you coming on so much. It's so weird being across from you, talking to you right now, because you've been a part of so many big nights of my life.
Oh, mate.
So many fun nights, bro.
I'm glad we've been able to come together and have this chat. We've talked about all sorts of stuff, haven't we?
So many fun nights. Like, I got a group chat of me and my friends. We're very loose units, but everyone's grown up. Mm-hmm. But there was like 15 of us, and I was like, I'm doing a podcast with UBERJAKD tomorrow, and it just kicked off. They're like...
Should have got him around.
Crazy. Oh, dude. Fucking you wouldn't have left sober.
I know. If I was doing this challenge, I wish I could have had a couple with you.
No, how long are you doing the challenge for?
It's only a 30-day one, this one. If anyone knows, just because, so it's 75 hard, but I've done 75 hard, and then there's like
You're looking fit.
Challenges. Yeah, I work out twice a day. You know,
you're looking fit.
You know, have to stick to a diet, a regimented diet. You got to do all
What
this.
diet are you doing?
It's just my own diet, which is pretty. It's just a couple hundred under maintenance, so you're getting a little bit of weight loss, shredding up, you know, as the technical term is, and yeah, just like whole foods, everything. My main thing is like everything that I eat needs to be a single ingredient item, so it needs to come, you know, like salt, but chicken salt is no good.
Yeah.
So it's just like anything single ingredient item, that's fine as long as it's in your calories. Don't have to be too pedantic about macros, but I always try and eat the right amount of protein.
And when are you moving to the UK?
I'm moving as soon as Ella and I find a place. So it could be in the next couple of months. We're hoping to be settled over there by like April.
So what we're going to do, we will run this back in March.
I'll pop around.
If you can get Ella to be the Desi driver.
Yeah, I'll see what
see how it goes. Yeah. Maybe we get her on the pod. Maybe we do a double.
That would be cool.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had a few female guests, but it's always different talking to females. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I like the vibe of like just getting pissed on the potty.
We'll do
having a chat.
Before you leave, we'll do another one, and then we'll do a recap when you get back.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
We'll
lock it. We'll lock it in for. We'll try and get another one in before you leave.
Right. Yeah.
So you can get a little bit loose. I can give you the south.
The
south.
We'll have to get
special.
someone else on to give a bit of a.
No. We'll get it here. When you get loose, it's a different ball game.
It's a different ball game, is it?
It's a different ball game.
Yeah,
once you start getting loose, that's when I don't even try and monetize the pod because we get on the music. I don't think maybe like out of 138, I reckon about 50 pods are fully monetized.
Right, yeah, because it's just...
I just like playing music and shit. I don't care about the money.
Yeah,
It'll come.
True.
It'll come eventually. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. I don't want to make fucking... I don't care about the money.
No, you gotta do it for the right reasons, mate.
Well, I fucking appreciate you so much, Ben.
I'll cheers you with my fucking big-ass bottle that I gotta drink every day.
Thank you for coming on. You can catch him at... UBERJAKD. Do you want to drop all your socials?
Yeah, actually? Sure. I mean, it's pretty easy these days. I try to keep it all very simple with my tags. So just UBERJAKD, spelled JAKD.
D.
Yep, no little C. And yeah, follow me. If you want to follow me somewhere where I'll actually like reply to you and like, you know, if you have a question, maybe you watch this podcast and you're like, you know, want to just hit me up. Instagram is the best place. I don't really... You know, I only just really live on there these days. I post on TikTok, but it's just to post. I think TikTok's just UBERJAKD_. And yeah, obviously, if you like my music, Spotify, SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, Ubercast.
Yep, the Ubercast is on there.
If any of you young'uns are going out on a night out, Ubercast before you go out, perfect.
You heard it from the man.
Love to see it, brother. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, mate. Thank you. This has been an unreal chat.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Well, cheers with your big water.
There we go. Look at that. And we got it. Maybe we'll make a song as well. We've got to go through that record.